Alright. We're doing it big today. Playing fucking, hello. Alright, we're playing airplane mode, which is a game where you're in an airplane for like 5 hours. So. Is it gonna open? Alright. It was a pretty awesome stream today, but might have to take some precautions. I'm not gonna overdose on sleeping pills like last time. I'm not going to listen to an overt amount of ASMR. I am not going to goon in the aisle, so that's my promise. Alright. Let's do this thing. What is this? There's a short one and a long one. I'll do the long one. Is it gonna... I don't know. Let me try that again. You know, I like airplane mode. Oh, here we go. There we go. 5 hours. I don't know if I want to do that. I'll do it. Because I can just take sleeping pills anyways.
Hello, passengers. We now invite our Platinum Pioneers to board. Platinum Pioneers may board at this time. Thank you.
Alright. As you know, I'm an avid flyer in airplanes. I'm gonna take a sleeping pill or two, but that's just how it is. Like, everyone does that, I'm pretty sure. Alright. How do I... There we go. Hello? This game is so glitchy. Alright.
Fasten your seatbelt, please.
Fasten my seatbelt. Okay. Look at this dude. Alright. I think that's good. Alright. Let's put on... Let's take a photo. And then... like it kind of dark. I do like to watch the airplane take off, so I'll just do like halfway. What is this? What is this? Games. This is... We could watch a movie, we could watch... Yeah. You know what? I'll play some... Blackjack. Alright.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. At this time,
Great.
the forward entry door is closed. All large electronic devices should now be shut off and stowed. And all small portable electronic devices must be underneath the seat in front of you or in the overhead bin, taking care not to force any item into a
Yeah,
space
get
that
it!
was
Oh
too
my
small
god!
for it. Take
Yapping!
your seat and fasten your seatbelt.
Okay.
If you are
Done.
seated in an emergency exit row, carefully read the safety information card located in your seat back pocket. If you do not wish, are unable, or are unwilling to perform the functions described in the event of an emergency, a flight attendant will reseat you.
Okay.
We remind you that that this is a non-smoking flight.
Yeah.
Smoking is prohibited on the entire aircraft, including the lavatories.
Okay.
Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the lavatory smoke detectors is prohibited by law. Please note that e-cigarettes are not a loophole to this regulation.
Got it.
Should you have any other questions about today's flight, please feel free to ask a flight attendant. Thank you.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the seatback monitors
What's
ahead
that?
of you for a video demonstrating the safety features
Okay.
of this aircraft.
Safety.
We recognize some of you may be frequent travelers, but this information is important and we ask for your undivided
You're right,
attention
you're right.
at this time.
Gotta get that info or whatever. I'll bet 2, yeah. And then, okay, 7 Jack. Is Jack, okay, that's 17, okay.
Hello and welcome
So Jack is
aboard.
10.
We'd like to thank you for flying Pan Atlantica.
Uh-huh.
We know you have many other choices.
I wanna watch the
from
thing,
regional
though.
carriers to national and international airlines. But you chose us, and that means a lot.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Now,
Yep.
before we take off, please pay attention to the following safety video.
Okay. No way.
If you haven't done so already, please fasten your seatbelt. In order to accomplish this, simply follow these simple steps. First, grasp the flat metal end of the seatbelt in your right hand.
Mhm.
You can easily identify this part of the seatbelt
I think
by
I-
the square
what are you looking
hole
at?
on one end.
What are you looking at, huh?
With your left hand,
Anyways.
pick up the buckle, and then slowly and steadily move the metal end.
I don't get it.
Both ends, perfect
In the
to
video, she has the thing like that, but mine isn't like that. It goes around the back of the seat, so I don't know if that's the right model.
To
I
tighten the
don't know.
strap, find the end of the strap and pull.
And then again, with here, it's not on him like it is with me, so I don't understand.
To release your seatbelt in the event you need to leave your seat, find
Uh-huh.
the top of the buckle. Once you've found the top of the buckle,
Yeah.
lift it up and it will release.
Mhm.
Now it's time to get underway to your exciting destination.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's sipping wine in Paris or whale watching in Nova Scotia.
Please make sure
I'm
your
not
seat is
going
all
to
the
Nova
way up.
Scotia.
All electronic devices are shut off and put away,
Uh-huh.
and your tray table is stowed.
Okay.
Carry-on luggage should be placed all the way under the seat in front of you or in the overhead bin.
It is.
Please switch your handheld devices to airplane mode now.
I did.
Please be aware
That's the name of the game
failure to
also.
do so could lead to a potentially catastrophic
Or sorry, I'm supposed to be,
navigation disaster.
you know, whatever.
U.S. law strictly prohibits smoking on the airplane at any time.
Yeah.
Tampering with, disabling, or destroying smoke detectors in the lavatory
Mhm.
may result in a fine.
Okay.
It's now time to take
What are you
out your
tapping over there
reusable
for?
Safety card, located in the seat back pocket in front of you.
Note the fine craftsmanship,
Okay.
colorful, clear illustrations, and sturdy
You know,
laminations.
it is pretty
Our safety
well
cards are
crafted.
built to last. Use
Yeah.
the safety card to find the plane's exits marked by
Exits
the large
there.
arrow and the word exit. There are exits
Yep.
in the front and rear of the plane.
Yep.
In the event of an evacuation from the cabin, follow the emergency
Okay.
lights to an exit. We
Okay,
ask
this
that
is
you
pretty
leave
cool,
all relevant
yeah.
items
Okay.
behind.
If you feel you must grab something to bring along as you evacuate,
And this
we
is
suggest you take a copy of Pan Atlantica's
Beirut.
award-winning in-flight magazine, Stratosphere.
I'll read it later.
Gorgeous pictures of hotels,
And this is a,
sponsored reviews of high-end
throw up bag.
restaurants,
Alright.
as well as maps of
What is that? Is that my
every
phone?
major airport and fun
It's my
games
phone.
to play, like
Oh, Sudoku? Oh, that's awesome.
Should the airplane cabin lose pressure, do not panic. Oxygen mass will drop automatically.
Okay.
When they do, again,
Does he just,
do
like,
not
do
panic.
that?
The yellow cup
Like,
fits
does he
over
come
your
around
nose
and do that to
mouth,
everything, or?
and the elastic band fits around the back of your head.
Okay.
Normal breathing will start the flow of oxygen.
That makes sense.
Remember,
Okay.
put your own mask on first before helping others.
You know, I always thought that those, like, don't do shit. Like, if you're actually getting in a crash, it's just, like, to make you feel like you're doing something while you're about to die, or whatever.
over
But I don't know.
or underneath your seat.
Like, so you don't
Or, in
panic.
some cases, behind your seat. It depends
Okay, but where is it for me?
Once you are
It might be in the
safely outside
magazine,
the
actually.
airplane, pull on the tab to inflate your
Where is
nose,
it?
or
Nothing.
inflate
Alright,
manually
cool.
using the red tube. There is no need to do
Alright.
Please note that your seat cushion can also be used as a flotation device.
Oh,
How
that's
clever.
cool. How clever. Oh, time for takeoff? Alright.
Your cabin crew will now be coming around to do a final cabin check.
Okay.
Everyone here at Pan Atlantica is proud to be part of making your flight today a wonderful
I couldn't have, like,
experience.
got sit next to, like, nobody instead of this fucking dude. He looks like Anthony Starr. Look at this guy.
Please don't hesitate to ask using the call
Oh,
button.
like, I gotta scratch my nipples.
Entertaining
The fuck?
Relaxing.
or productive flight.
We here at Pan Atlantica salute you.
Oh, I salute you.
People places is what we do.
Yes, 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 yes. Alright, I'm staying on 17. Fuck, dude! Anyways.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, fuck you.
This is your captain speaking. On
Mhm.
behalf of myself and the flight crew,
Mhm.
it's our distinct pleasure to welcome you aboard Flight 206 with non-stop service to Reykjavik.
Uh-huh.
Our flight time today is estimated at 5 hours 30 minutes. We'll be flying at a cruising altitude of around 35,000 feet.
Okay.
Ground speed of around 600 miles per hour.
Cool, I don't know what that means. Oh, okay.
I'll be back
God.
in touch if we've got any other updates for you en route. For now,
Alright.
sit back,
Get out of here.
relax,
Leave.
and enjoy the flight.
Leave. Leave. Is he gonna fucking turn it on again? Alright. I'm at 19, I'm staying. You? Okay, I'm betting 2 again. I have to stay here. I win. Are you?
Folks, we're third in line for departure right now. Should have you off the ground in a couple of minutes.
Alright, cool. Thanks. The dealer got a blackjack 3 times in a row. It's not true. It's not true. 15. Let's fucking go. Dealer just busted. 13 hitting. Hit on 16, dude. Fuck. Dude. It's gotta be rigged. It's rigged. I swear it's rigged. It's fucking rigged, dude. I'm staying. Yes, man. Look at that. Okay. I have to stay. Are you kidding me? I'm going again. I don't lose this. Yes. What is this? Alright, are we taking off? What is this? So relaxing. No. Okay, thanks. Fuck. Come on. Come on. Give me big money. Big money. Are you kidding me? I gotta bet 2. I gotta go all in. I can't. I have to bet 1. Alright. Fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please. I can't play this game. Trivia game coming soon. Okay. He's watching Bugs Bunny, dude. Insane people out here. Alright. I don't remember how to play. You gotta do like that or something. Ooh. Oh wait, are we taking off? Dude. There we go. I think it doesn't really matter which one I put this on, actually. Okay. Nope. We actually, yeah, no. Ugh. Dude. Is it random chance, like, when you take off? Because I swear it wasn't like this before. There we go. It's right there. Oh, I have an ace here too, or you know, whatever. Nope. Oh. I don't know if that was a good idea actually, because I should have saved that. I don't know. Boom, right there. That's some good shit. 2 of spades goes there. And does that make room for this? What is this? I can't read. Is it done sound like that on purpose to make it annoying? I could see that. Doesn't matter though, because I'm a goat. And look at that. Cleared out an entire row right there. Boom. Oh, okay. I see how it is. I see how it is. Where? Taken off yet? Look at that. All 3, or all 4, I can't count, in like the first 2 minutes of the game. It's kind of crazy. Often I have nightmares about a Balatro solitaire game, but then I wake up in a cold sweat, and I thank God that it's not real. What is... oh, yeah. There we go. Okay. Decisions. Alright. That's good. Are we gonna take off? Holy shit. Kinda god luck right here though. 9 to the 10. And then none of that. It's just for fun right now. Alright. Boom. Let's go over. Boom. That goes to that. Need some 3s and 4s and shit. Alright, we're taking off? I think we're taking off. Alright. Awesome. Couldn't I have gotten an aisle seat? Whatever. Nothing.
Cabin crew prepare
Come
for
on, man.
takeoff.
Alright. I don't even care about the plane taking off anymore. I just want to play my games. Oh, fuck. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this. Yes. I wonder what time it is on my thing so I can like check when I'm gonna be close to being done. Alright. Oh, dude, it's so awesome. Look at all the buildings. I love living in Minecraft. Things are shaking. It's weird. Okay. I'm gonna close the window now. Alright, 4. No. Oh wait, fuck. I'm stupid. Whatever. Okay. 6. Queen. Is it that short of a deck? Boom. Should I do this one? Yeah, because it's closer. And then I can do that. And then put this one in. And then... okay. Nice gameplay right here. Do I have anything that I can put up? Not until I found the 3 of hearts. Boom, right there. And then that right there. That to there. King. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 100. 101. 102. 103. 104. 105. 106. 107. 108. 109. 110. 111. 112. 113. 114. 115. 116. 117. 118. 119. Does not do anything for me right now. Okay. This does that though. But that's the 7 there, I think, so. Shit, okay. I put that there. 8? Is there anything I can do? Like, ever? Am I cooked? It's a luck game. There's only 2 cards. Holy shit, okay. Well, I think I'm just fucked in that department. In other news, I'm starting again. Obviously. Boom right there. Oh. Give me, yeah. Okay. What are you doing? Bro's got his phone in his pocket, dude. Bro visited his friend. Maybe the strat is to not put things immediately down when you see them, because then you kind of lock yourself out of doing some things. What? Dude, he's got the fit on there. Look at that. 2. Where's the 3? That's where I thought it before. I thought with my... Oh, fuck. I'm kind of nauseous. Alright. I think I'm not supposed to take my technology out until after takeoff. So it's gonna be a little bit of this. Okay. 6, 7, 2, actually. Maybe I shouldn't do that, I don't know. Boom to there. 5. Maybe the wrong decision, I could have done that one. Then again, kind of getting that. Not as good as my previous game in terms of luck at the beginning, but maybe that's a good thing. I'm saving my luck up for the end. Got that queen, nothing. Nope. Nope. No. Yes. Okay. Put that there. And then... What's the plan? Are we off the ground? Are we out of... I think when it says I'll take out my shit and start doing shit. I'll read this, why not? Leave the worrying to us. The Explorer Plan. Unlimited global coverage. Lorem ipsum... Fuck. A message from our CEO, Dan Henschel. As I travel our vast network and see the incredible and diverse family of more than 5,000 employees, and the millions of customers we serve across the world, I'm constantly reminded that our core... Oh. We're about to burn up in a fiery ball of ash? I doubt it. From Atlanta to Auckland, from Ontario to Osaka. Behind every connection we make as a community, we strive to support and serve. I'm always heartened to see that this shared purpose... Dude, I don't care. Thank you, Tamam Yemout. Renee. Stratosphere Magazine, 13, 27 hours in Beirut. Am I going to Beirut? Like, the games are on 9, and they know that I want that, because look at that. Trip to Mars? Where's your hashtag stratosphere? Yes, you're allowed to take the in-flight magazines. I don't think anyone really cares. Waited 30 minutes for a plane to pass overhead before snapping this pic. Too bad it ended up being out of frame. They got their feet out in both of these photos. Bridging, yep. I actually went to London once. Oh, hell yeah. Where's my pencil? I'm gonna play all of these. Where is it? That's my phone. Starred. Oh. I don't think my headphones are with me right now. Whatever. What else do I got? Oh, this is a translation app. Got a podcast. Lil Walkie. The Walking Dead. Oh, right, 'cause this is AMC. What the fuck? What? Come back here. What the fuck is this? Lil Walkie, dude. Ugh! What the fuck? Oh! I can give him, like, makeup. But he's, like, out of frame slightly. I can't do his teeth. I'll give him a little bit of blush. Or maybe that should be with this. A little bit of makeup. A little bit of lipstick. I can't. Oh. Alright. And maybe some eyeliner. I think a nice shade of blue would go well. And then, I can't really get the other one, but you know, you get the idea. And then, maybe some drawing eyebrows. That's kind of what this was before, but okay. I think he needs some hair. Not that. Yeah, that's good. That's good right there. Let's see how he looks. Oh! Can I stab, bro? What? I can't, dude. I can't. What the hell? Oh, good. I can decide what clothes he wears. Nothing. I guess you unlock that later. What else? I'm at it. I need to charge my phone also. What is that? It's like a hole. Is that on any other things? It's weird. Oh yeah, my game. Yeah, that goes there. I was having more fun with Little Walkie. Screen Ages, am I right? Shit. Nothing. No dice. Too many dice. Okay, way too many dice. Need to maybe not die. Oh, there we go, that's something. And that's it. Dude. Let me take out my bag, dude. I wanna do drugs. That's nothing to me. That's nothing. I think yeah, I have to restart. Okay. immediately nothing strikes out as, like, good. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the surprise strategy that we needed the whole time was just being bad at the game. Look at that. Immediate stack right there. Getting hella racks in solitaire. It's like those ads where it's like, I made real money playing video games. And you know it's not true. But they just keep talking about it. I'm like, what if I can make money out of playing video games? And then, cut to year 2025, we're doing this shit. I don't know. Putting that on there. Boom. Bam. Boom. The combo is going wild right now. Look at that. Immediate combo. And I can... Oh, I could, but no. Can't believe I didn't see that before. And boom. Look at that. Free space right there. And right there. And... How long has it been? It's 21:06. He's not impressed. That could be good. I don't know. And then, look at that. Boom. Right there. Boom, boom. Nope. But, boom. Look at that. Told you. I told you it was gonna be good. And back to nothing. It doesn't really matter if I put this on anything, I think. King 3 goes there. Fushigi. 8 to that. 6. No. Queen, no. 2, yes, to the 3. Into the 4. Look at that. Boom, combo right there. I got the 3-4-2-1 combo right there. And that's like a real thing, too. And then onto that. Boom. Jack 10. Oh, wait, yeah. 10 there. Into that. And then there. And then no, actually. Alright, let's think about this. The king, queen, jack, over there, 7. If I can get a red 8, which I don't know if that's in circulation or not. This goes there. This also goes there. This goes there. And now I can really start partying. Look at this. To the 4 to the 5. I think I've basically won this game, but I don't want to jinx this. I'm going to knock on whatever wood I can find. You might have to help me out on that one, actually. But, immediately getting $1 billion. That's what we call the Roblox special here. All the way up to 7. That's what I'm talking about. And then all the way up to 8 in this scenario. And even 9. Look at that. We are really just getting all of the money in the world right now. In this moment. Then I can do that. Look at that. Whoa. It's a queen. And then I take that queen. I do nothing with it. Then I take the 7 and I put that there. And I put this king there. I take the 4 and I put it right here. Oh my god, I am so good at the game. Boom. Anyways. I want to get up. King, right there. Got all 4 kings in the game. We are winning. 10. I don't even care about that. We're putting that right there. This is what I call gaming. And that's why we're in the game. For things like this, for viewers like you, PBS is possible, and you've got to jump on top of it. If only I'd had like a red 7 or something. Maybe I shot myself in the foot, actually. Or red 8? This is a red 8. Oh, I win. Wait, there's another one. I win. Boom. It's so satisfying. Watch it go. There's an achievement for winning at solitaire like 6 times. Boom. There. 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 No. Oh, okay. But why? Look at that. We really do stay winning. In just under 620, we win. Oh, look at that animation too. It stacks on top, and it goes crazy. Look at that. Sorry. I am leaving the game now. What movies do we have? Okay. Time at origin, time at destination. What time is it? It's 21:12. Where are we going? We're at 3% of the flight. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks. And also, I'm going to... What is this? Oh shit. Oh shit. Hi. Wait, how do I... I thought there was like a thing on the back. How do I flip it over? Isn't there normally a thing on the back? 1, fuck. 2, 3, 4, 5. What the fuck? Oh. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. I'd like to flip it over though, if that's possible. Gotta do a trick shot with it maybe? I don't know. Maybe there isn't. Thought about that. Green and red buttons. It says chew. I don't know. It's like a train reference. Idea. Oh, it's a flashlight. Info. Okay. Well, I don't know. Two. Why? It should be, because it's a number or something. Maybe I gotta pause?
G'day, everybody.
Okay.
This is your captain speaking. We're cruising now, so welcome to the flight.
Alright,
Hopefully
nice.
The weather cooperates and we can give you a nice, smooth ride. I'll let you know if there's any other updates.
Nice. Alright. I'm taking out my headphones immediately. Ooh. The sweet silence. Oh my god. I dream for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Okay.
We've reached our cruising altitude.
I'm gonna listen to my playlist.
We ask that while in your seat, you keep your seatbelt fastened. At this time, the use of
A yell sketch.
all electronic devices is permitted.
Yeah. Thumbs up. He's a silly little guy. And then I'll draw a little flower. I like drawing. Also, this song is nice. I don't know if it's copyrighted or not, but it doesn't really matter. I don't make any money. Okay, well, I accidentally drew one. Honestly, no, it's a happy accident. It's dripping into a puddle. And the puddle keeps going out. That's kind of nice. Anyways, can you put this away? Oh fuck, no. Okay. Against the grain. I'm not reading this. I'm gonna pop a pill. What is it? These expired last year. Get this out. Get it out. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna charge my phone. Where's the charger? There we go. And then, what is this? Let me get the... Alright, crossword time. Oh shit. Historic Central Asian nomad. I don't know. The Dalai Lama. First country with nationwide online voting. I don't know. Paraguay. Treeless biome. Desert? I think that's right, actually. 2 down. An American city that God forgot. I don't know. Advil. 4 down. The world's most populated city. I don't know. The NES. Made from bronze, a sculpture in Cambridge. A cape and a fish. Oh, that's cod. "27 across. A country with railway lines that can loop the planet twice." California? China. China. It's gotta be China. China. 24 down. 24 across is AD. I don't know. 24 down is Switzerland's top level domain. I don't know. Expansion. This company can claim to have the oldest passenger planes still in service. I don't know. Light. Wait, do you think if I use like the flashlight from the thing on this, it reveals a secret? I doubt they'd have something like that, but think about it. This is the wrong thing. Shit. Look, it's gonna be nothing, alright? Whatever. I see how it is. Anyways. The next, 20 across. What? I don't know. The short letter ones are the ones I'm going for. In a city that was once coastal but is now inland. I don't know. A city that's been continentally inhabited for over 8,000 years. 21. Is it, Hiroshima? All these are like geographic things. Hydrophobe, millions of years in the making, 11 across. I don't know. A genuine The first internet message, 15 across. Hi. It should be high if it's not. 1 million years. That's a millennia. Or is that 16 across? That's a... what? A U.S. insular area. Why are all these 2 letters? I don't know. A large hill with over 19 million inhabitants. China. $24 down. Switzerland's top. I don't know. I don't know any of these. Next. Now Sudoku I can do. Is there anything on my playlist? Are you gonna just autoplay it? I don't know. Okay. Okay. Where was I? This is chill also. I don't know, what is this? Kakura. Yeah, I've seen this, but I don't know how to play it. So, fuck, I don't know. Evil Sudoku. Here's real Sudoku right here. Even though I'm really bad at it. So, 1 in, okay. 1. I'm used to playing with, like, digital notes. So this is gonna be hard for me. But the 6s, fuck. This is supposed to be an easy one, too. Look at all the numbers. I've seen some fucked up bullshit, you know? The 1 has to be either here or here. If it was here, but I don't know. Okay. 1. The 1 in this column has to be in here, here, or here. The issue comes when it's like I have to crash out notes. Scratch out! And then it's gonna be difficult, but whatever. So I don't know. 3. The 3 here has to be either here or here. Ah, fuck this. I don't know. What's the next one? I don't want to read that. I'm doing this Sudoku. When does the sleeping pills take into effect? Uh, 5? Oh, 5. 5 is here, right? Because, yeah, 5. Sorry, I kind of got it too big, but you know. 5, 5, 5. 5, 5. So the 5 has to be either here. It has to be here. 5 has to be here. And then 5, 5, 5. 5 only has to be here. This is the 5. Okay. That's an entire number done. All 5s are now forfeit. Now, I don't know, I'm seeing a lot of 9s too. And 8s, maybe? I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe 4s. 4, 4, 4. 4. But no, there's not a lot. I don't know. Maybe... Are you closer? I swear this guy's like closer than before. I don't know. I can't believe nobody's enjoying my messaging system. I feel like that's kind of awesome, but no one is enjoying it, so. 8, 8, 9, 6, 6, 6, nothing, 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 nothing. What the fuck? Where is everything? 1, 1, 1, 2, what? Okay. Okay, let's do boxes instead. I think I'm focusing too much on single numbers. 1, 2. 2 could be anywhere in this. 3, 4. No, there's 4, 5, 6. Which has to be anywhere. 7, which can only be in these two places. And 9, no. 8, whatever. I don't know. This one, 2, 3, and 3 has to be here or here, which I already have. 4, 5, 6, and 6 can be anywhere. 7, and then 8, which can be anywhere. Dude, I'm not getting anywhere with this. 2, 1. What do I hear? 1 has to be here or here. We already went over that. 4 has to be here or here, I think. No, 4 has to be here, right? Because 4 and then 4. Yeah, 4. Alright, new number acquired. I like when that happens, because then it feels like I'm doing shit. And maybe I can do this line too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which has to be here or here, right? Yeah. And then 8, which has to be anywhere, or 9, which has to be here or here. Wait. I don't know. If 7 is only here and here, 9 is only here and here. Okay, that's shitty. Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, the rest of this. 6 has to be here, here. And then, oh, those pills are working. 7, which is anywhere. 8, which is middle row only. And then that's it. I don't know what this is for accomplished. Maybe we can do this thing even though there's like 4 places there. Because there's a lot of things here, maybe. 1 has to be here. Right. Or no. Fuck. Okay. Because it could also be there. 2 I have. 3 I do not have. 3. 3 could be anywhere. 6. Could be here or here. 7 has to be in this bottom 3. No, it has to be here. Great. 1 could be here, could be any of these places except for that one. 2, 3, 4, which has to be here. That's 4. Confirmed 4. Yeah, that's confirmed 4. Right, because 4 here and 4 here. 3, 5, 4, 3. Okay. 6. 6, which has to be either here or here. And 9, which has to be here. Okay, I'm making good progress, I think. At least I'm not like stuck, which I am with a lot of puzzles. I don't know if that pill works. Don't look over me. Stop. Hey! Jesus, people, dude. I don't know. I want to talk to this guy on the messaging thing, but it's not working. Anyways. Wait, now that I have that filled in, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because 6 has to be here now. And that means 1 has to be here. Look at that. Whole right line right there is done. Because I'm such a genius. And then also because of that, I think that means the 1 here has to be here. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 don't change with this, I think. But that's still good. Because 1 has to be here too. And then fuck, I don't know. Look at his pen. Yeah. Anyways. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. 1 here. And or 1, no. What? 1. There's a missing 1 here, and somewhere of this too. And then 1, and then 1. And there's no 1, so it has to be here. And it has to be here. Yeah, look at that. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. All the 1s. 1 and 5 are done. 15. I don't know what the fuck is going on over here. I don't know. I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, 2. Maybe that's solvable soon. 2, 2. Ta-ta. 2. I don't know. I could do this because it looks easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I just said that earlier. 1, 2, 3, which has to be here or here. 4, 5, then 6, which has to be here or here. 7, 8, 9, and 9 has to be in any of them. Alright, cool. What about this box? 1, 2. What are you doing? Which has to be here, actually. Come to think of it. Alright. 2, 2. I'm still missing a lot of 2s, actually. And then look at an old dude over there. 3, which is not possible. 6, which is not possible, because I'd have to do one of these right here. And then 7, which is also not possible. Alright. Let me see if I can do this, maybe. Or like one of these lines. 1, 2, 3 has to be anywhere here, actually. But it also is only here, because of this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is also only here. So this is right 3 or 6. And then, wait, but doesn't that mean that the last one is 7? No, but 7 is also, wait, what? Am I stupid? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 6 and there's no 7. So it's 3, 6, and 7. But no, that means 3 has to be here. Right? Yeah, 3 has to be here. Because the other only 2 are other, you know. Yeah. Yeah. That also helps do this, I think. That's only if there's 7 or 9 which we don't know. No, 6 or 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 and 7, which we don't know. Alright. Maybe I can do here, even though there's not a lot. 1. Maybe I do, triangulate some shit. I can triangulate. I don't know. What am I talking about? I have to do some lines. Oh yeah, this line. 1, 2 has to be here. 2 has to be here. Right there. How am I looking outside? It's nighttime. What time is it? It is 21:36, and it ends at 2:36. Okay. And then, alright. I'll pop another pill, actually. Alright. Maybe we should get some water with that, actually. Two, 3. And wait, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This has to be 8. I can't write, so don't worry about it. Anyways, so we have that. Great. There's only 3 things on this box. 1, 2, we need 3. Don't know where that is. 4, 5, 6, 7, which is either here or here. Fuck, okay. And then 9. And I know 9's here. Which means I also know 7 is here. Which means I also know 3 is here. I'm a genius. Look at that. And then 7 is here, which also means 7 is here. And that also means 6 is here, I think? Oh shit, I'm falling asleep. Let me put the headphones back in. Oh, I'm falling asleep. Fuck. I have to call. Soda water. Fuck. No, dude, I didn't fall asleep. No, I didn't fall asleep in time. Yes, dude. I'm asleep, dude. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Yes. There's an achievement for, like, sleeping through the room service. Dude, am I dreaming? Feels like I'm fucking dreaming, man. What? I just heard something. I think. Ugh. Oh, dude. Fuck. I think they kicked in. I'm not gonna lie. Ugh. Dude, what? What is this? What is this dream? I don't know if I like this. There's cups. Floating cups. They're gone. Oh, fuck. Oh, dude. What time is it? It says PA is active. What time is it? 20. What the fuck? No time passed at all, dude. Here, let me take these fucking headphones off. It says PA is active, but there's nothing. Anyways, still got like 4 hours. No. 22. 23, 24. Yeah, 4 hours. So I'm gonna pop more pills. I'm gonna do 3 more. Yeah, just 3. Just for fun. No, not for fun. It's for my anxiety. Oh wait, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6. That's a 0. Right, 6. Oh my god, I'm making such good progress. 1, 2, 3 has to be here. And then 4, 5, and then 6 has to be here. Look at that, look at the bottom. It's like almost done already. And that means 1, 2, 2, which I don't know. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, which I also don't know. So I can't do that quite yet, but that's fine because look, I'm making progress. 1, 2, which must be here, as far as I'm aware. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, which is here. 20% done with the flight. 9. Look at that. Boom. Left and right side's done. Look at that. Boom. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 and 9. Shit. Alright, don't know. This one though, I printed no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. What are you doing? What? What was I doing? This one? 6 has to be here because of the 7 in that box. No, fuck. Fuck. This is a 7. That's a 7. And this is a 6. Yeah. Just, you know. That's definitely a 7. What? What do you want? Jesus. Oh my god. Anyways. I forgot. You made me lose my train of thought. I'm gonna poke you. Okay. Dude. This guy pisses me off so much. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. 3 witches. 3 witches, dude. 3 witches. This one has 4. No, wait, 3 witches. 4. Could be anywhere, first of all. No, the 3 could not be here. Must be here or here. 4 witches. Anywhere? Right? Yeah. I think. And then 6, 7, and then 8 cannot be here, and must be in either one of these positions. But that also means, since 3 also follows that rule, that 3, 4, and then 4 must be up here, right? I might just be messing shit up, I don't know. But then, since we know 4 is there and there and there, and there, and yeah, right there, and what? 2 is on these 2, and these 2 squares. But, no, 4, what? What? No, 4, yeah, 4, 4, which means we do know where this is. It's at the, here. Look at that. Boom. 4 is found, all of them. 145. Anyways. Now what? We also got like a, almost like a diagonal right there, but not in the right square. Hey, I'm 21 on the way done through the flight. That's pretty awesome. I could probably do this 1, 2, 3, which is not here, which means it must be here. 4, 5, 6. I just need 7 and 8. 7 must be here. 8 must be next to it. I almost got like a full border. 1. I need 2. Is it 2? Is it 2? I don't. Fuck, I don't know. This game is so confusing. This is the hardest puzzle game I've ever played. Alright. I can do this. I can do this. Even on sleeping pills. So, let's do this. 2 is missing, but I don't know where it is. 3 I have. 4 I have. 5, 6, 7. I need 8. And I do not know where it is. Alright, let's actually do sum of 8. I don't know. 8 must be here, right? Because we don't have it. And then it's not in that upper thing. It must be here. Yeah. I am working it out crazy style right now. And then since all that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 needs 7 right here. Boom. 7, 7. And then I could probably get it on one of these. Oh, yeah, because it's there and there. So yeah, 7 there. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. 9 right here. Look at all these. Look at all this. Oh my god. And then 1. I don't know, 2. 2 is like a hard one. It's like a late game stage thing. Why is he still watching Bugs Bunny like 20 minutes later? Who are you? Anyways. If I don't like pass out for 5 hours, I'm gonna take so many sleeping pills. They shouldn't. Whatever. Listen. Here we are. 1. No, maybe this box. But no, because. Yeah. Anyways, let's think about this. One, 2, need 3. I don't know. It's just there's like things where it needs 2 of them, and I don't know. Maybe I can do this. Maybe 1, 2, but I don't know where 2 is. 3. Do you feel that? Dude, look at this old dude over there. Looks like fucking Bill. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there. Boom. I am such a gamer. That's the entire bottom boxes and the top boxes filled. Anyways. What now? 1, 2, 3 is not found, I think, on that. But there's nothing 3 in here. There's no 3s. I'll do this center box, maybe that'll help. 1, 2. Can't be here. 2 has to be here. 3, 4, 5, 6 can't be here. Can't be here, so it has to be here. It's actually really easy. 7, 8 in my head. And then since I should just do this one. 1, 2, boom. Alright, and that means 3 is here. And 9. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boom. Oh, dude, it's so satisfying every time. Anyways, What is this? Damn. Sorry. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. See the sights. You gotta see. I thought this was supposed to be the same person. They're talking to each other. Alright. Hello, hello, ho. Hello, hello, ho. I'm gonna draw a little dude right here. Check out my comic on Blue Sky. It's called Gaming Central. No, I don't have a name. Fuck, yeah, there we go. And he's holding an ice cream. Yep, that's what I think about that. Yeah, look. Flip for keyboard. How? And there's fucking, like, game controls on it, even though there's nothing. 1937. These are all, like, public domain, I'm pretty sure. What is this thing? What is that? Freaks me out. Let's see if I can get this Don't look at me! Trying to controls. Game settings? Taking me out of the experience, but you know, whatever. No, I don't know. Where's the music in this? Gotta do a little walkie shit. I don't know, man. How do I flip this? Flip over for... Also, what does this button do? How do I flip? Nope, not that. Oh my god. Look. Flip for keyboard. It's next to the thing? Get this away. There we go. Wait, no. I don't understand. I don't get it. What is the button to flip it over? R? Our future? You are not touching shit. You are watching a fucking movie. Oh my god, this guy's freaking me out. I don't know. Whatever. Where's the music? Alright. I don't know if I like this one as much, but whatever. Dude. Turn this shit off. No, we're listening to fucking... Wait, what? 6? Oh, because of the... yeah. Let's put on some podcasts. I am gonna put on Ear of the Duck. Alright. We're on Mars. This is some bullshit.
Hi, welcome back to Ear of the Duck. I'm your host, MC Mallard. It's June 23rd.
MC
and as
Mallard,
always,
he's a
I'm here to
duck.
bring you the most exciting, strangest, newest, most mind-bending, grooviest electronic and experimental music.
Oh.
This week we have a special episode for you, focus on generative, algorithmic, and aleatoric music.
I like that.
In our era of feeds and machine learning, and big data and recommendation engines, it might seem like technology and music have become inseparable. But using rules to create music is hardly new. Back in the 18th century, composers used dice to randomly generate music, and you can make an argument that even musical canons, immortalized by old Johann Sebastian Bach, should be viewed as a form of algorithmic music. We won't be listening to anything quite that ancient today, and of course, modern composers have infinitely more sophisticated tools at their disposal. We'll start with several pieces by Chicago-based composer Lisa Webb, who...
This is nice. "18 Across"? I don't know any of these. From the Tower of Babel to a Marine Passage. What? This is nice. I like this. The oldest continuous democracy in Asia? Oh, fuck. Quite a time for the sleeping pills to kick in. Shit. Listen, man. I don't... Fuck. Gotta take more sleeping pills. This is against the grain. What the shit? Oh, fuck. Where am I? Oh. Oh, God. The music. Fuck. I swear to God, this is what it's like to fall asleep, because you're just like... You're just doing whatever you're listening to, or whatever you're doing in your head still. And then, like, you wake up, and you're like, what the fuck? I wasn't doing that anymore. And you're like, yeah. And you're like, no. I'm still listening to the fucking podcast? What time is it? What time is it? It's only an hour later. Fuck. I'm taking more sleeping pills. I'm taking 5. I don't even care. Give me that shit. I don't... More sleeping pills equals longer sleep. That's just how it works. So what kind of person do you have to be to where you take like 5 sleeping pills and you only sleep for like an hour? Like, who do you have to be? Edward Mullen? The song is good though. I like it. Alright, I just downed all my sleeping pills. Don't look at me. Don't judge me. Ow, ow, ah, fuck. Anyways. How do I get the numbers? It's not a valid seat. I know. Maybe just like put it down on the thing. How do I flip it? I don't understand. How do I see the other side of this damn thing? I don't want to look at that. Listen, man. Whoa. Oh shit. Whoa. How do I do this? Let me think. I swear, because it said like it was just like a thing on the side or something. Press this button. What is this button? I don't understand. Look, you can see the back of it. Yeah, come here, look. Whatever. I can't. If this... Oh my god. I'm in an airplane. What's the hell's the deal with this thing? Press this button? No. No, I actually just want to, like, get up. Let me get up. Okay, could you move? How do I put it under the seat? Just like put everything back in it first or some shit? I'm not doing that. Excuse me. Okay. I think I have to. Can I get out? Or fuck, sorry. Can I get out? Maybe. Just a bit. Please. Dude. Get out. Trying to go to the bathroom, dude. Trying to go to the bathroom. Oh my, whatever. Huh? Seven. It's not, it just doesn't make any sense because, listen, this is the thing, it just doesn't make any sense because, like, if you look at it, look at the layout, okay? Look at the layout and just tell me if it makes any sense. This, it just doesn't melt steel beams, is the thing. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. It obviously happened, right? But if you think about it, jet fuel just doesn't melt steel beams. So I'm giving them eyes. But it should have crashed, and this should have been fine. So, but there's bombs in the, you know, whatever. I don't know. Wait, what the hell? I swear I drew 9/11. What? I swear these were on the same page. What do you mean? What do you mean? No, this doesn't make any sense. It was on the same page. This doesn't make any sense. No. No. Squares. They're in your eyes. It doesn't make any sense, because it just doesn't, like, why would it be that? Why would it be on a different page now? I drew on the same page. No, man. Let me put my seatbelt back on. Not allowed to use the bathroom. Too old to order off the kids menu. I can't do it. And I drew the flower. I'm not going crazy. The valley. Beauty. The creation. Doesn't make any sense. What? What do you mean? How? How's it done? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? What is this? No, dude. How do I do it? I don't understand this game. Dude. Fucking no. Put my headphones back on. Why was it 99? How did it do that? Doesn't make any sense. Listen. I was here. This said 99. This said B, or it didn't say B. It should say. I want it to say 21C, so I can talk to this fine gentleman who probably smells of, I don't know, strawberries. I'm fucking. How do I turn it over? Okay. Get off your phone, dude. I don't know. Fuck. I didn't mean to do that. No, I don't want to take my headphones off. Rabbit. That's what he's watching. Okay, let's lock in. 1 second. I'm out of here. I'll be right back.
Oh boy, they've dropped the weapon.
Why is it like out of sync? Is this the one where he turns into a big chungus?
Look, fellas, I'm Rin Tin Tin.
I'm Rin Tin Tin.
Now I got you. You're a dead wabbit.
Telegram for Elmer Fudd.
What's up, Doc? Not an angel in the sky. Not an angel in the sky. Come on out of it. Switch the wabbit. Oh. Switch the wabbit. Oh. Switch the wabbit. Oh. Hello, operator. Operator. Hello, operator. Operator. Give me walnut treat. Oh, that's you, Mert? How's every little thing? Please, Mr. Wabbit, don't call Uncle Louie.
Dude.
I won't hurt you again. I promise. Well, okay. But what's the sip after this, fat boy? Hey, what do you got to eat around this joint? Eat? I'll fix this guy. Fate till twig me, huh? Step
Why
right
am I looking at
this
his
way.
ass, dude?
That'll fix him. Why, that dirty double-crosser.
Ugh!
Open up!
It was loud. Dude, why am I watching Looney Tunes, dude? Get me out of this chair.
Hey, I'm getting pneumonia.
Pneumonia?
Open up!
No, you gotta open up, dude.
I'll die.
Let me open my fucking...
No, I'm too
Yeah.
young to die. Please let me in. Hey, this scene ought to get me the Academy Award. Say goodbye to Uncle Louie for me. Oh. Uncle Louie?
He's a glob, dude. He's a
What
glob.
have I done? $3 million all shot to pieces. Don't die with the rabbit. Please don't die. Walk-a-bye, baby, on a treetop. When the wind blows
fuck.
away to... Come on, that stuff. Swing it. Walk-a-bye, baby, on a treetop. When the wind blows,
I can't even reach the bottom of the
when the bob
thing.
wakes, the crater will fall. Down will come, baby.
Special delivery.
Your Uncle Louie has kicked the bucket. You now inherit $3 million.
Yeah.
Inheritance tax, $2 million, defense tax, Check County, which leaves you owing us $1.98. Please remit. You don't get the dough, eh, Butterball? No, but I'm gonna get you.
It's a square. Oh shit, he's got ears, dude. He's got ears. Oh, it's like Mario 2. I'm fucking crazy. You know, it's like. I mean, you got your perks, and you got your round number over here, and it's like, here's the guy. Happy New Year! Be forgot. Yeah. Here's the guy.
Well, yipe again.
And then.
Don't go down there. It's dark.
And then he's got the thing, and then you got the. Meow. And then there's like the timer up here. Oh fuck, I'm falling asleep. Dude, I can't imagine falling to sleep to like Looney Tunes. That's the craziest shit.
Good riddance to bad rubbish.
Good ribbons. Fuck, I'm asleep. Oh man. Oh god, this game. It's an amazing grandson. Or am I gonna wake up? And it's gonna be like 24 and I'm just gonna have 2 hours left. It's gonna be some bullshit. Good weapons. Dude, how long am I sleeping? Oh. My phone's at like 19%. Oh. It's over. What time is it? 1:25. Oh! And, no, I don't want to watch that. Yeah, dude, the... What? What do you mean? What do you mean? 69% done? I still like an hour? Time... What do you mean time at destination 6? Oh, the time of origin changed too. What time is it now? 1:26. Well, that's obviously not true. That's like what it was before. What time is it now? Well, I don't know what to do now. PA is not active, bro. Be completely honest. Altitude, distance, travel distance remaining. But where? No, I don't want to get. Is there any way to just see what time it is? I feel like that should be on this screen. How long did I sleep? Oh, get this off my ears. I'll listen to a podcast, I guess. There's only one episode. I'm not doing ASMR. What is IntelliGame?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to a special edition of IntelliGame Radio.
Alright.
I'm your host, Josh Boykin, the founder of IntelliGame.us, a game culture criticism site where we make connections between games and the world around us.
True.
You're tuning into our special series, What's Your IntelliGame?, where we learn about somebody in the game industry by talking about a game that's important to them.
True.
But of course, none of this would be possible without our sponsors, Pan Atlantica Airlines. With destinations all over the world, Pan Atlantica Airlines could be your choice when you'd like to sit in a metal box flying through the sky at hundreds of miles an hour. Pan Atlantica Airlines. The airline where at least the in-flight meal is slightly above average?
I think it's...
Now, our guest for today's show is an IntelliGame regular. Jenny Wyndham, or Kim Chica, is a Twitch streamer
I think it's an hour
and
left.
indie game critics before. Today we're going to have a conversation about a game that's really
He's been
speaking to
watching
her
this for like
in this
4
particular
hours.
moment. Even though it's a pretty complicated time, there is a sort of timelessness to the game that she's selected. For any feedback you may have, you can send that to podcast@intelligame.us. Let's go ahead and get started. Jenny Wyndham, welcome to IntelliGame Special. How are you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. I'm just excited tonight. I'm going to be playing lots of video games, so I'm excited for that.
It's kind of nice to be able to have that opportunity to
What
spend
is
some
this thing?
significant time with a game that you can dig into.
Mm-hmm.
So we have just one question.
Dude.
What is your IntelliGame? What is a game that changes the
know if I'll
way
listen
that
to
you
this.
think about games?
Oh, gosh. You know, it's funny because
Is this a real
beforehand
podcast?
you asked me if I had my game, and then then you asked the question, and so many games run through my head. So that's it's rough.
Okay, what
but
the
I'm
hell
not
is
going
this?
to make
It's
things even harder on
changing.
myself.
Time and origin,
I'd
time
like to
distance.
caveat
Oh,
this with
time.
my IntelliGame. I feel like changes a little bit every
That's
time.
like what the time
I've
was.
thought about this question.
Okay,
because
that makes
it's
sense,
so.
actually.
I'm just one of those contextual players, right? Different
But that
games
means-
for different
what is it?
moods, time of the year,
I don't
phases of the moon, all that sort of thing. So, but right now, my IntelliGame is an indie game, a little wholesome indie game called Rakuen.
I don't know if
I
this
think
is
it's
real.
published and developed actually by a dev named Laura Shigehara. And
Could be real.
she is
Melinda
really
Lakir.
amazing. She's actually responsible for the
Lakir or
music
something.
behind To the Moon, which is another indie game that holds a lot of emotion and heart for me, as well as some maybe more like commercial titles like Plants vs. Zombies,
Oh,
which
shit.
is kind of neat. So, yeah, but Rakuen is the game that I'm bringing to the table today.
Need some fucking red wine. dude.
Okay, so Rakuen, tell me a little bit about the game.
Series of vignettes connected together by one overarching story about a young boy who you start the game and you realize he lives in a hospital. That kind of already sets you up for the fact that this might be a little bit of a tearjerker. So anyone who is susceptible to crying in games or to sort of more emotional
This is
stories,
interesting.
be prepared for that. But what's really
this a real
interesting
game?
is
What are they talking about?
this young boy, his mom visits him consistently,
What?
and it's interesting because for the vast majority of the
are you
game,
doing?
they're just called boy and mom. And he asks his mom to take him into this fantasy world called Rakuen. It's a fairy tale book that
What is this guy
she
doing?
has shared with him.
What? What? What do you want? The tray is out. What? Dude.
You can select your order from the screen in front of you. Hello? Open your tray table, please. Excuse me? Do you want your beverage?
Okay, then good. This guy has no drink.
A son and his mom, and they're going through things and they're talking through things, and you don't often see moms as central characters in games, and I honestly find that to be really refreshing and really touching.
I miss out so much.
Yeah, I think so, more than anything, more than perhaps like the gameplay that I would say for other games, the way that this game addresses narrative and character development is really really
this is a real game.
I think it's really interesting you bring up some of those ideas.
Yeah.
And you've talked a number of times sort of
I
in
may
your
play it.
career about moms and the importance of,
This guy,
of having
I
moms
can't do it.
and motherhood narratives
Give me
in games.
the drink.
I wonder what do you feel like compels that particular
Give
style
me the
of
drink.
advocacy?
Whatever. Does not matter.
That's a really great question.
Fuck.
Oh gosh,
Okay.
I think it comes from wanting there to be just more perspectives on the stories that are being told. I think it is really interesting that the developer for
what is it?
Rockawin is
72?
is a woman, identifies as a
fuck.
woman. I think the fact that this is a main character.
4
who,
hours.
again, it's kind of and even in this case, I'm a little bit torn because the character you control primarily is the son, is the boy.
Sure.
So the mom is
Dude.
part of your party the whole time, so kind of is a main character, but like you aren't controlling her, which I think is like the really cool part. But yeah, I think ultimately
Online service is unavailable this time.
my desire to see more
Whatever.
games with moms as these central
Let's do this.
characters just comes from a desire to like see just more folks who
Fuck you.
like I'm not currently a mom,
Hit.
but I think
Stay.
like I want to be a
What?
mom, and I think moms are
Hit.
wonderful and strong
Stay.
and powerful, and I kind of am
What?
just really
I don't
perplexed
lose.
as to why
Whatever.
like women in that role of society are not seen as like heroes in games already in various ways. It's just something that's always kind of been in the back of my mind.
No, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
So it's just I think it's just wanting to see more of that story get told.
Come on. Yes, dude.
I wonder, did you play a lot of games with your
Yes.
mom growing up?
I did actually. It was kind of interesting.
Yes,
I primarily
okay.
played with
I'm
my
actually
brother,
gutted.
mostly because obviously we're both kids. That's what we did.
Just listen
but
to like a podcast
like
in the
what was
background helps
really
us a lot.
cool was I
kinda zone out,
remember
but,
my
like,
mom like Mario
that's not what I should
Tennis,
be
Mario
doing,
Kart.
you know, whatever.
Definitely were games that I played with my mom as a
That's good.
kid. And
That's easy.
even like Secret of Mana, where you could like
Easy.
you could press select, I think, and someone could join in as player two, but really just
I
like
think that's good.
honestly mess it up for the
Fuck.
person who was leading the party because you
Fuck
could walk
you,
on the
dude.
opposite sides of the screen and just not go anywhere. That's what my brother and I would do, but my mom would actually jump in and
yes.
play Secret of Mana with us every once in a while as well.
Okay.
And so like I think
Dude.
yeah, it's just really interesting that like we grew up playing all of these games, and
I'm staying.
I've definitely played
Fuck
like teenage
you.
boys who want to save the world, like badass ladies who like to kick butt
Dude.
that are like 20.
Please, please.
You know, and
Yeah, let's go.
I think as I get older, it's really interesting to see stories that
I'm done.
have
Fuck.
characters that are older, that have characters who are
Fuck.
adults, and not just like
That's
I didn't
easy,
realize,
dude.
but like Final Fantasy VII, all those characters are like 18 to 20.
Yeah.
Like the old
14.
Sid is like 30
14.
or 40, I think.
I'm gonna stay.
I'm just like
I'm fuck.
I remember as a
okay.
kid thinking Sid was like a grandpa, and now I'm over here in my 30s, and I'm just like, yo, I'm the same age as Sid. You know, like what's going on? School age, and adults. You also have side characters, NPCs,
I've
who are
gotta think about
elders.
this.
You have a lot of grandparents in this game. You have a lot of like
Let's
variety,
stay.
I think, in
Fuck
terms of the age of folks that you encounter, and I think that's really refreshing.
Oh.
14?
It feels like there's been
That's a
a
hit.
lot of
Fuck.
drive to try and create more spaces for women in the game space. Do you feel like there are more people who are coming to the game space to create, who may have that motherhood experience to draw on in creating games? Because I feel like that's also a part of it, is that the space is broadening, that there are more
my
people
phone is about
entering
to
in
die, and
who
I'm
can
second
tell
hungry.
genuine narratives from their experience.
That's easy.
Yeah. I think there is.
Alright.
Like, it's a gradual change, but I think so much of change has to be incremental and has to be gradual in certain respects. And what I appreciate is there are a lot of things I don't appreciate about social media, but one thing I do appreciate is it does allow for that visibility to see that there are other folks, like you, in the space, that you are not the only one who is thinking about certain things or experiencing certain things, and it allows places and platforms for people to unite. I think of folks like Amanda Farrow, who's a mom, and I am like so inspired.
Over Virtual Economy.
Yes, over at Virtual Economy and Ready Player Mom. I think of like Bex from Finji, and numerous other parents and game devs and folks who work in the industry who are very open about the fact that they're parents, and that they're, in particular, these women are mothers.
No,
and I
that's
think that's
whatever.
super inspiring and super heartening to see.
Damn it.
I
could spell
do
blackjack.
think that we're still not
Let's
at
go.
the point where like that work-life balance, I think for someone who is
2 in a row.
single is
Look at
still a
that.
struggle, and you see that in the industry as a struggle, and I can't imagine the balance of being a parent, honestly, in this industry. And there is a certain amount of, I think, like, ageism that happens in the game industry, where after
that's
folks
actually true.
kind of are past their 30s, in a lot of respects, I think there just hasn't been space
Easy.
or time or really thought dedicated, because either the turnover is so high or the industry also is still so young.
Why is it
that we're
always
kind of
Queen?
figuring it all out.
Sure.
Dude.
But I think what's been really cool is seeing more and more
It's always
folks
Queen!
speak up and talk up about what it's like to be a woman in games, be a parent in games, and see like a mother who is doing all of these things at the same time in games. And I think that's
Fushigi, dude.
really cool and
God
really
damn
exciting
it.
and, like, honestly, for me, very inspirational. So
I'm
thank
going
you to
big on
everyone
this
who
one.
does that.
Dude, I hate this guy.
I wonder, I feel like I see some sort of through lines, because one of the other things that you bring up about Rakuen is that it's a non-violent game, that there's conflict resolution, that there are problems, obviously, but you're in this world where fighting is not the answer to everything. And you've already said that your choices for your Intelli game are fairly topical. What about a theme of non-violence resonates for you right now?
Well, we are in the year 2020.
I'm going
and
for
in case one needs reminding,
dude, that's
2020 has been quite the year.
We are in 2020.
I mean, I am based in Portland, and honestly, we are one of the many cities right now who are still protesting and speaking out against police brutality. This started way back when George Floyd was murdered, and this is something that has basically been.
How am I supposed to be mad at?
Honestly, as much as I hate to say it, like, one of the driving themes of my summer is not only seeing police brutality, but like witnessing it firsthand, seeing it online, and doing what I can to stand up against it. And seeing that in particular has made me quite averse to violence in games personally, because I've seen enough of it just in my day-to-day IRL experiences.
That's a good point to bring up too.
That for better or worse, sometimes games are kind of an escape from that a little bit. And so I think right now I replayed Rakuen actually a couple of weeks ago, or I've been spending the last couple of weeks replaying it. and I didn't realize how much
Easy.
having a game that involved more conflict resolution based on discussion and facilitating discussion I needed until I played it, because I had been playing games like and I'm currently still enjoying games like Hollow Knight, you know, where there's light combat. But something about it just kind of hit my heart a little bit tender when I was playing Rakuin, where you just
I'm not
are
actually that's
honestly
my,
just
like,
facilitating discussions and allowing
thing.
people the space.
Because, sorry, I had to, because I need that kind of game right now.
Like give each other the space to talk, give each other the space to process, because I think honestly that's something I wish we had a little bit more of in the world right now. So yeah.
Even in like 2025,
the world is moving at such a blistering pace, and it feels like not only is it moving incredibly quickly, but it's like if you don't respond right when something happens, something completely different takes place that almost makes that last thing irrelevant. It's been mind-blowing thinking about, that article is from 2 days ago. It doesn't matter. Like, it's outdated.
Right.
It's, but there is something about, I think, slowing down, providing time for processing. And there is something about, I haven't finished Rakuin, but there's something about the pace of that game that just feels slower. It provides this
Why did I do
element of
that?
wonder,
I'm actually stupid.
which it's a fantasy world, so that makes sense.
Hitting on
But it also,
it's crazy.
I don't feel like if I don't respond to this in the next 5 seconds, then everything falls apart. And I think that, gosh, I wish that the world had more of that right now. But it feels like everything is the most urgent. If you don't do this thing, then the whole world falls apart, and everything feels incredibly mission critical. Most of it, it's because so much of it is. But
what are we at? 75.
I wonder, are there individual interactions in Rakuin that you can think of? You said it. You feel like you're projecting a little bit. Is there a particular interaction or a particular piece of dialogue that really hits home for you right now?
I think what was interesting is that
triangle, dude?
the game does not deal with issues of police brutality, so that wasn't super on the nose. Thank goodness. I would have been worried if that was
that would have been a little rough.
Yeah. But I think for Rakuin, it kind of gets to the core of family, and a lot of honestly, like the tragedy that can befall family.
Look at that.
I hesitate to really go into super detail because I don't want to necessarily spoil it for folks who want to play and experience that for themselves. But each of the folks that you interact with, I think there are four different sort of inhabitants of the hospital that you interact with and help. And then the fifth being kind of the boy and his mom and their main story. But each of the four narratives kind of deal with how a different struggle that a family may encounter. One of them being dementia, the other being more absent father and kind of a person grappling with what that means. And I think these are all experiences that, whether tangentially or directly in my life, I have now experienced, which was interesting because back when I played this game when it first came out, I don't think I necessarily had
in 2017
some of the life experiences that would have made me I cried at the first time I played this game, but I didn't necessarily have the empathy of an experience to really sort of reflect on what these themes really mean.
But when you look at it this way,
playing it again now, I think I was also just sort of primed for a more emotional time considering the summer we've had. But I think being older and playing this game with, sort of the last few years of things that have happened with my family, people have passed away. I've grappled with different family matters like that, and I think that is kind of what has really hit me most, is just playing it again and sort of coming back to this game with a sort of fresh context. There were some really surprising elements, I think, that I didn't quite remember from my first playthrough that really hit me. I also was really intrigued because I think the first time I played, I also wasn't as like,
75
I don't know,
still.
involved or really thinking about the world in the way I was. And I'm super impressed with this game because it came out in like, I don't know, 2016, 2017.
2017.
But this
Yeah.
is a game that not
I just
only
looked at
deals
the
with
Steam
like
page.
family matters, but they also address like the Fukushima, like the nuclear disaster that happened. So
Boom.
there's like a lot of layers, not just like familial, but
big
also like
arms.
almost historical and cultural that get
Sure.
addressed in this game that I think is really, really important to reflect on and to think back on.
Yeah, I
Makes
think
it
that
sad.
there are a lot of ways that these games that increasingly focus on narrative give us this opportunity to sort of expand our own understanding of the world around us. I even think about like this idea of intelligaming, right? The idea of thinking about the connections that games make with the world around us. And I can even make the same analysis to books that I've read, where I was assigned to read The Great Gatsby in high school.
Kiki and
And
Boba, dude.
I might
I read
have,
that book.
if in case you're out there listening, I totally read Great Gatsby in high
I read The Great
school.
Gatsby
Yeah,
in high school.
but it
This
was
year.
interesting when I again, quote unquote, read it for the first time. After I graduated college, and I realized
that.
how many of those themes, like, it still would have been a good book for me to read when it was assigned, if not for my GPA. But there were just so many ideas about like love and loss and like struggle that I
That's
don't
true.
think I could have related to back when I was first reading that book.
That's true.
And
I agree
it sounds
with that.
like similarly there are some themes or ideas in Rockland that it's like, oh, it's kind of interesting when you get to then sit with that idea and then revisit it later, which is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, and I think Rakuen does a great job of also, like many other sort of more, I would say like cozy and wholesome-minded
dude.
games before it and after it. It does a great job of
It's like an
doing
hour.
so in a space that largely does feel very safe to explore those ideas.
For folks who might not be familiar with cozy or wholesome games.
Oh yeah, so games that
I think everyone knows
gosh,
what
how
that
do you
is.
even sum up wholesome games in a word?
I think it's
Games
I
that
think
tend to
everyone-
have
I
more
don't know.
gosh, I'm trying not to use the word wholesome values to
It's
say
fucking
that, but
derpy and
emphasize
wholesome
things maybe
chungus,
otherwise
dude.
not traditionally emphasized in games. So the elements of non-combat generally
I feel like a lot of games are cozy
kind
games
of one of the
nowadays.
big ones.
Like it's become
games
more
that perhaps
mainstream
dive into
than
more
not
of
than,
that.
just in general, more mainstream.
That provide a framework, I think, that allow players to feel safe and comfortable and not feel that stress that
What are we
can
doing?
normally happen in a game. I think that's what
Sure.
we generally mean by wholesome.
Cool.
And
Thank
so I think that what you said to what you said earlier in terms of the games like Rakuen feel slower. They feel different in their pacing. I think that's super intentional because if a game is getting you to think about, especially Rakuen, honestly, I'm very impressed with how much it packs in such a short time span, because there are like each story has its own kind of big topic and big heavy theme that it works with, and so you kind of need that slower pace for the player to even process. You can't jump from one action bit to another because otherwise the player will be overwhelmed and like you will just have too much emotion. Honestly, you will be filled and it will be sad. And
77.
so
Wow.
while
It's another percent
I've
right
seen
there. Look
folks,
at
particularly with Rakuen, sort of maybe critique the fact that it takes a long time to maybe traverse from one area to another, or it feels like there's a lot of downtime, perhaps in between dialogue. I think a lot of that is perhaps very intentional, or at least I feel
It was
very
on the same page, I
appreciative
swear.
that it's there, because there are a lot of really heavy things sort of dropped throughout the
This
game, and if you did not have that time to
right
just
here.
take a
on
moment
the
and
same
enjoy
page
the
as
world,
this.
that's
I
the
swear
beautiful
to you.
pixel art that they've created, the soft soundtrack, that allows you to process, that allows you to think through and reflect on what you've just experienced, and I think that's really powerful on their part.
Wow, I think that
I'm out of
that's
pills. Fuck.
to think about. Well, we're getting ready to wrap up here. Do you
What?
want
No.
to let people know here where they can find you on the internet?
Shit.
Yes, I am usually on Twitter during the day. folks can find me at kimchica25, and that's kind of my primary social account. I also create video content and live stream at youtube.com/kimchica and twitch.tv/kimchica, and that's where I cover indie games of all kinds, not always wholesome. So you get a little bit more variety, I think, if you follow me there.
Very cool.
Grains of
I think that you've gone into this game in ways that make me definitely want to pick it back up. When thinking about making some of these connections to the real world, what is one lesson that you think somebody could take away from Rockawin that they could apply to life?
I think that one lesson that would be great to pass on from Rockawin out into the real world, and that anyone could apply, especially in this year, 2020, is
what am I reading?
Not hesitating to check in with the people
21?
well, definitely the people you care about, but take a moment and perhaps ask someone that you may not normally ask how their day is going, how they are doing, if they need anything. Like, take time to ask folks that.
That's actually good.
Especially those within your sphere of community. I think playing this game was really interesting for me because you play as this young boy and you wander through the hospital ward and you meet all of these, essentially these neighbors for this kid, because this is where he lives. And it had me thinking, like, you know, with COVID, with the pandemic, like, only now have I really just started to say hi to, like, my next door neighbors, the folks who live across the street from me, the people who live on the corner that I now can say hi to and wave to every day when I go on my, like, daily walk. And I think playing this game kind of pushed me past the point of, let's just say hi to our neighbors, and to let's actually get to know them and ask how they're doing. We don't know what every person's story is, but perhaps we have the power to help them with it, whether it's lending an ear, just saying, you know, even just letting them share about their day. You know, we don't have to go on a quest to a fantasy world to help them necessarily, but I think that power of just asking people and checking in is something that I really grasped this play, and I think folks hopefully can apply that to their lives too.
Well, thank you for your time, Jenny. I really appreciate it. It was great hearing you talk in general and hearing you talk about the game.
Thank you.
Right. Oh, fuck. Where's my thing? Oh. Fuck. I don't know. I don't give a shit about that. Those are really good podcasts, though. Like, genuinely. Even though I, like, put my headphones off for part of it for no reason. Awesome. Imaginary worlds, maybe? Or The Secret Lives of Games.
Hey everyone, before I begin this week's episode, I have some exciting news. We're going to start selling merchandise for Imaginary Worlds. T-shirts, hats,
also,
mugs,
another
tote
percent
bags,
less.
stickers, pillows, laptop sleeves, lots of stuff.
He's leaning in.
Now, we have some designs that we're working on, but first, we wanted to reach out to you for fan art that we could put on all this merch. You could redesign the Imaginary Worlds logo, or create art inspired by your favorite episode.
Look at that.
Send your submissions to contact@imaginaryworldspodcast.org. We will pick our favorites and announce the winners on social media. I'm very excited to see what you come up with. You're listening to Imaginary Worlds, a show about how we create them and why we suspend our disbelief. I'm Eric Malinsky. There's a scene that I keep thinking about.
This is Interstellar soundtrack. Oh my god.
If you've seen Interstellar, then spoilers ahead.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the
I haven't seen it, but I don't
Now, the
care.
premise of the movie is that in the future we can't grow food on the
Actually,
Earth,
I'm gonna just.
but no
I'll
one's
be
sure
right back.
why. So a group of astronauts led by Matthew McConaughey blast off, looking for other planets that humans could live on. Eventually they find some planets. They're okay, not great, and a lot of other dramatic stuff happens, but in the end, Matthew McConaughey returns to our solar system, and he discovers that humanity had actually survived all this time by living on a giant space station. And the physics of this space station were mind-boggling. I mean, it looked like somebody had taken a flat plane of Earth and rolled it up into a tube, so the houses are hanging sideways and upside down. In fact, we see these kids playing baseball, and a pop fly shoots straight up into the skylight of a house hanging upside down.
Where am I? Cooper Station. Currently orbiting Saturn.
And I've always found it fascinating how much some people really want to live on the moon, or Mars, or in a space station, where just about every natural resource that we take for granted on the Earth has to be recreated from scratch, and it's incredibly fragile. But people are investing a lot of time and money and their imaginations into life in space, and they say we are closer than ever to making that a reality. So I was really wondering, well, what do they imagine? Space cylinder that we saw in Interstellar. That idea originally came from a physics professor at Princeton named Gerard K. O'Neill. 50 years ago, he was working with his students on designing solar-powered satellites. And I know I said that just about every natural resource in Earth is really hard to find in space. That's definitely not true with solar power, because, of course, on the Earth,
night shuts it off instantly, where a cloud runs over and shuts it off instantly.
Robert Smith works for the Space Studies Institute, which was founded by the late Gerard K. O'Neill. Robert says back in the 60s, when O'Neill was figuring out the math for these solar-powered satellites, O'Neill realized these structures didn't have to be limited by space. I mean, they could be as big as cruise ships or cities, which means people could live and work up there. But, and I said to Robert Smith, the thing that I don't understand is why O'Neill's cylinders have to curve into themselves like an M.C. Escher painting.
What?
And how does that even work? I mean, I barely understand how gravity works on the Earth. Like, I don't quite understand why people standing in Antarctica don't feel like they're standing upside down on the Earth.
Okay,
So
that's
I
actually
really
stupid.
don't understand how that would work on a man-made structure that's smaller than a planet.
Okay, when you're a kid, you take a bucket,
Wait, there's
right,
another
and you fill
person?
it with water, and you're at the beach, right? You
Oh
take
my
a bucket,
God.
you fill it with water, and you spin your arm around above your head, and the water doesn't
Oh
come
yeah,
out, right?
that's true.
I never did that, but I believe you.
You never did that?
Nah.
What kind of a kid are you?
I was collecting seashells. Sea glass.
Well, you get the idea, okay?
This
You'll
is
do it
really
now.
like-
Take a coffee cup outside, put water in it, take your arm and just spin it in a circle. Even though it's upside down at a certain point, the water doesn't come out. It's
It's
being
true, 'cause of
pushed
inertia or
against
gravity.
the inside of the cup.
Yeah, something like that.
If you're at the amusement park and they have one of those things that you stand in, it starts to spin, and then they drop the floor away and you don't fall. That's centrifugal force. It's an effect of the
Yeah.
spin. If you make the thing big enough, if you're on one of those rides and you try and turn your head too fast, you'll throw up. It's disgusting. That's because that thing's 15 feet across.
Or an ice cream sandwich.
If you have something that is considerably larger and spins at, say, 3 times to 4 times per minute, the effect that you feel from being pressed against the inside of the sphere or the cylinder, your body has no way of knowing the difference.
Like
But yes, if
Bryson's
you
up
look
when I have
up,
the thing.
you see another guy way up there looking down at you.
I was curious what Robert thought about the movie Interstellar.
What?
Since that is supposed to be an O'Neill space cylinder. And he says he was happy to see one on screen, but they made it too narrow.
What is this about?
I mean, he understands they did that so they could have the gag where the kids are playing baseball and the ball shoots up into the house hanging upside down. But
Something with a curve that small would cause major problems with the majority of people. I mean, there's a reason they're 4 miles by 20 miles, the big boys. It's because of the effects on the physiology of human beings that too small isn't going to work. It's going to hurt, and most people can't handle it.
But there was one thing you really liked about the ending.
The people who lived in those places didn't want to leave those places after they lived there. Only the main character left. They were all there. They weren't saying, hey, let's all go now to this planet.
What?
We like where we live. So they stayed in their colonies. And so I thought that point was very well done.
He wishes there was more sci-fi like that.
It's funny, when we say space, people go, oh, Mars. You say space, people say, oh, the moon. But a planetary body is not space.
Oh,
And
that's
yet,
true.
we are such planetary chauvinists that when we hear the word
I don't know
space,
what that
we
word
think
means.
of other planets. We don't think of the space in between.
Show business? Or
Did you
80?
catch that phrase, planetary chauvinists?
Chauvinists.
It's a term that the science fiction writer Isaac
Huh?
Asimov made up
Oh, I know that
in
guy.
conversation with Gerard O'Neill back in 1974. In fact, here is that conversation. Isaac
Why is it
Asimov
dark?
speaks first.
Have you considered the possibility of a good smashing blow from a meteoroid?
Yes, it's been calculated. You'd have to wait a good many million years for a big one.
Alas, in science fiction, that happens every other day, you know. Which reminds me of all the proposals that I've ever heard made by a legitimate scientist. This sounds by far the most science fiction-ish. Are you by any chance interested in science fiction yourself?
I haven't read much science fiction myself for a good many years. One of the things that's puzzled me, in fact, is that if you look through the science fiction literature, there's astonishingly little suggestion that anybody has been thinking in those directions before.
Yes, in science fiction we have what we might call our planetary chauvinisms.
Yeah.
We think of
I don't
we
know
think
this.
of
I
colonies
don't know any of
primarily
these.
on the surface of worlds.
Ground floor of the U.S.
The most
Capitol
famous
building.
planetary
Building.
chauvinist today is
Oval
Elon
Office.
Musk. He
No,
is using
dude.
private money to build ships that will fly to
No, not
Mars
Elon
and
Musk.
hopefully back. There's also another
Isn't it
very
26
famous,
down? What do you
rich,
mean?
high-tech guru, Jeff Bezos, who's investing an
There's no-
incredible
there's no
amount of money in
26 down.
space technology. Jeff Bezos wants to build an O'Neill cylinder, which he calls Blue Origin,
Wait,
and he
what?
says it's going to be a manufacturing
down.
hub in space.
And he gave his valedictorian speech in high school
What?
about O'Neill colonies. And he went
What?
to
Wait,
Princeton,
what?
and he was happy to be there,
Oh.
very among
20
the
it was a
O'Neill
typo.
group.
Like a lot of O'Neill followers, Jeff Bezos was inspired by O'Neill's book, The High Frontier, and that book is full of illustrations.
Let me think
Don
about
Davis
this.
was one of the main artists that O'Neill worked
Hindu
with back
theory.
in the 70s.
And so when I got in touch with him and
Buddhism?
picked his brain and such, he immediately was enthusiastic about the paintings that I did.
But drawing and painting those curved space stations
Cuban
was not
music
a
is
typical
instrument that's very
illustration
French.
gig.
It's
I don't know
quite
any
a
of this.
challenge when you're doing a wide-angle view and working out the perspective. It almost gets to the problem of portraying a globe on a flat map if you're trying to do a map.
What?
It's a lot of fun.
Bermuda?
Besides the sheer physical layout of the thing, portraying that, what I filled it with was, as much as possible, greenery, plant
Wildest-
life. In fact, when I asked
Populated
Jerry what he
city.
thought it should be like, he suggested the view from the Sausalito side of the Golden Gate Bridge, looking down into the bay with the boats and the
Yeah, I don't know
and-
anything
and
about
little
this.
houses and villages kind of nestled among the greenery, and with the bridge going off, a great structure sort of enclosing everything.
Is it
but
a
familiar environment
Sherpa?
tailor-made to our needs, having been crafted and fit inside this vessel into space. And so that was the vision, the San Francisco Bay Area,
Hydrophobe.
my homeland at the time, that I constantly kept in mind as I did these paintings.
Now, for the record, Gerard O'Neill was not the only person thinking about space cylinders in the 70s.
It might be high.
Two science fiction authors imagined these giant curved space structures. Arthur C. Clarke in his novel Rendezvous with Rama, and Larry Niven
AD, like
in his novel
CE.
Ringworld. But, as Robert points out,
I love the Ringworld story, but remember, it's not us. It's aliens out there. It's like Rendezvous with Rama. You know, it's not us. But O'Neill colonies can be built by us.
and Interstellar is not the only work of science fiction that has an O'Neill cylinder. You can see
Dude,
similar structures
I feel like
in
I'm
The
gonna
Expanse,
fucking
Babylon
pass
5,
out.
Star Trek Beyond, Ender's Game, and video games like Halo and Mass Effect.
I actually
And
could
in
play
some of those
video games
movies
right
and TV shows, when I look at the special effects, it looks like they were taken directly from Don Davis's paintings in the 70s. I
I'm
wondered
gonna
if you
play
noticed
some
that.
solitaire.
Oh, yes, I have, and I'm
Oh,
honored to have
what the hell?
had my work as
Trump?
part of the collective consciousness that further works can draw upon.
5, 4, 3.
But science fiction isn't always good PR.
Okay.
Like the movie Elysium. The director Neil
Disco
Blomkamp
Elysium.
created a space station that was modeled after O'Neill's Stanford Taurus.
I don't know.
But in the movie, the Stanford Taurus is where all the rich people live. The poor suffer on Earth until Matt Damon saves the day.
Matt Damon, dude.
And
Why is
then
he in
you
every
walk away
science
from
fiction
that
movie?
because most people don't put space, you know, as a major part of their life, but it does impact
What?
them. They walk out of the theater,
hell?
and they laugh and they joke and they go on with their lives. But every time they see a Taurus, they're reminded that's where the evil
3,
rich people
2,
are, who are keeping us down.
2.
And so that bothers me.
King. 7.
Now, it is no accident
5,
that the space colony
5,
in Elysium is
4,
portrayed as a fancy suburb.
8.
Even back in the 70s and 80s, people were criticizing Gerard K. O'Neill and Don Davis because it looked like they had taken white flight and made it literal. I mean, it's hard enough to afford real estate near the Golden Gate Bridge, but who can afford to live near the Golden Gate Bridge in space?
That's really funny.
And that criticism really bothers Robert Smith because he says, first of all, a space station like Elysium would not survive if the Earth were dying. The Earth and these free-floating space settlements would be economically interdependent. In fact, that's kind of the whole point of the space settlements, is that they could help the Earth survive.
That's a place where people who are doing important things to help everyone can live. It's not. That's a place where we want to live.
Now, Robert says we could build an O'Neill cylinder right now if we really wanted to. The problem is that all those materials just need to get a lot lighter and cheaper. He thinks the bigger problem is developing space shuttles so you can go back and forth and basically telecommute.
2, 3.
So I asked Robert, given how much he advocates for these things, I mean, does he lie awake at night imagining what it would be like to live up there?
8.
You know, that's a really good question.
Dude.
I don't often do that. I mean, sometimes.
I don't
and
often.
honestly, when I'm trying to drift off to sleep, you know,
I
you got
can't
a
focus.
busy brain, and you try and do something to calm yourself. And so there have been times when I have tried to imagine it. You know, imagine what it feels like. What is the feeling of on the skin?
Ultimate
What is
mode
the
activated.
feeling of the gravity? What is it? Not just what it looks like. So I have tried to do really deep imagination.
He's not
and it puts me to sleep.
Mike Tyson.
You know, so it's
or
helpful.
But that's
Neil
good,
deGrasse
though. It
Tyson.
means that it's a very real goal. It's not like this is a fantasy.
It's so doable that it's now in my mind at the point of
I'm good at this game.
You know, the plumbing, the how do you wire the electronics across the structure? It's civil engineering. I guess it's just been accepted into my mind as yes, it's doable. Now we have to build it.
In a moment, we will hear from some planetary chauvinists. Although they wouldn't call themselves that. Just people like you and me who happen to live on the moon.
What? People live on the moon? What?
Now, you might have noticed over the years, I've often talked to experts at Arizona State University's Center for Science and the Imagination. It's a whole department dedicated to science fiction. And every year they host an event called Emerge about how science fiction can help us imagine the future. This year's theme was about colonies on the moon. And they brought me out to their campus in Tempe, Arizona to participate. The event was really impressive. They built a set in a theater of this moon base called Luna City in the year 2175.
Oh, look at that.
The decor of Luna City was actually surprisingly
That
earthy.
actually sounds really
There's
awesome.
bamboo
What the hell?
designs everywhere.
I'm actually listening to what
And
they're
there are
saying.
windows
It was, like,
and a
awesome.
digital landscape of the moon in the background.
Dude,
Audience
I'm
members
not even
were brought
streaming
in to
anymore. I'm just
meet
fucking
the residents
listening
of
to a
Luna City,
podcast.
who were mostly played
What
by
is this?
students. And then afterwards, I moderated a debate between
6.
two residents of Luna City in front of a live audience about whether Luna City should remain united or whether it should branch out into colonies around the moon. And that argument is actually a real debate that is happening among futurists right now.
8.
The two residents of the moon that I talked to were played by professional actors, and we were following a script, but we were encouraged to improvise as much as possible.
I don't know what I'm doing.
We never exactly explained why I still exist in the year 2175. I think we decided I'm a clone of Eric Molinsky, who lives on Earth, but took one of those speedy shuttles up to the moon. And by the way, this is a live recording, so you're going to hear some popping and crackling the microphones.
Ooh, that's fun.
But imagine you're kicking back in Luna City,
I'm kicking
or
back.
you're on the Earth, or in a giant cylinder orbiting the Earth, listening to this podcast in the year 2175.
Okay.
Well, today we'll be speaking with Gennaro Santana, who is a proud, longtime resident of Luna City. Spends most of his days in the city's mines.
Oh, I can do this.
His neighbors tell me he's a real pillar of the community, which is interesting because a lot of people here don't have titles, and it's just a lot of, you know, your reputation kind of counts for everything. I'm also joined by Anastasia Pavon, who's a top engineer with deep roots in the separatist movement, and she'll offer insights into the potential benefits of
Separatists.
citizens
That's like
leaving Luna City
Fortnite.
and
Nope,
starting their own
Star Wars.
communities.
Yep.
So, first, welcome, Gennaro.
Thank you for having me, Eric. I'm really excited to be here. Welcome to Luna City.
Thank you, and welcome,
There we go.
Anastasia.
Annie, please.
Annie, okay. Great, thank you, and thank you everyone for joining me. So to start, so what are the major concerns from Luna City regarding segregation?
Where to
Boom.
begin? There are just so many different problematic
Boom.
issues to consider.
Well, I'm sure Annie will disagree with that.
Well, look, I don't mean any disrespect to
Boom.
Ms. Pavon,
I
but
win.
you know what she and other people are doing are basically putting all of Luna City at risk.
Well, how
I'm
are
sick
they
of this
putting
game.
Luna City at risk?
I
These
beat it
communities
again.
of distinction, it's just another word for segregation, and segregation just doesn't work.
If I can jump in here, I'm not anti-Luna City. My friends, those like me who have left, we're not anti-Luna City. Tell me this, Eric. Why did we even go to the moon?
Well, I mean, it's not like there's one answer. There's so many.
I'm looking for what you believe to be the top
Oh, what?
answer. Of
I didn't do it though.
I mean, there are a lot. So, but the moon was always supposed to be a
I'm not-
stationing area,
like,
right?
beat the game
I mean,
though.
it started out for science and industry, of course.
That's
but
good.
I mean, it became kind of like a launching pad. Like, isn't the idea that the moon is supposed to be sort of a bus stop?
I mean, we can spend 10-day phases talking about this, but what's the point?
The point is,
10-day phase
using
is
the moon
trying
as a
to sneak in
launching
some world
pad
building,
reveals a
dude.
great deal about the human spirit. That need, that intrinsic need
All
we
right.
have to expand and go further. I've recently been working with the science team who's gearing up for the next hop to Titan, and with a bit more equipment, the ice
What the fuck?
to the solar system.
It's always a jump
I mean,
scare,
it's
dude.
not about
It's like
us
snap back
segregating
and
ourselves.
you know.
It's about pushing ourselves to realize our full potential on the moon.
Anyways,
And
what
anywhere
time
we
is
go.
it?
My family was part of Generation Zero, who landed on the moon and helped program
Generation-
and repair the bots that built this city. When Luna City was founded
83.
originally, it was under severe
Dude.
control from corporations.
I can't.
Corporations that took huge risks to allow us the opportunity to live on the moon, of course. Okay, I grant them that. But it was essentially a rogue state
Sometimes I
under
look myself in the
private
mirror.
corporate control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So some of those constraints still remain today, and that's what we don't
I'm gonna
like.
take my hand off the mouse.
Gennaro, I
dude.
mean, I'm sure you can empathize with her point about exploration, the quest for knowledge. I mean,
What the fuck? It's an
distinction,
accident.
or as you said earlier, like how do these
I'm just gonna
communities
let
put you at
myself-
risk?
Well, I do
Let's
empathize
kick
with Evan's
back
point,
and
but
just-
I
I don't
mean,
know
the
if you
past
can hear me,
matters.
but-
Several decades ago, when my father
I'm
was a
here.
child, and this was during the pre-Generation Zero days, the Generation Zero was there to repair the robots that had already been built in Luna City. My father was part of the generation that actually helped build those robots in the first place. And he lived in Luna City. He was young when the UN granted Luna City its decree of independence, and the feeling was that we
Decree.
could finally
Fortnite.
have a sense
Or,
of our
yeah.
life here on Luna City without outside influence, without interlopers. And
Okay.
then people like Annie
I'm just gonna stay
decided
here.
that they wanted to push further and beyond the bounds of Luna City. And I totally get that thirst for exploration or adventure or whatever you want to call it, but they left people behind and they took their resources with
Dude.
them. You know, their abandonment of Luna City plus some
That's
tainted
true.
food units ended up converging to cause the crisis that we all know about, the Great Famine of Luna City.
Gennaro,
What?
the food
We
would
all
have
know
been
about it.
contaminated either way. There was no stopping that famine.
Well, if we had been together, like we could have had the actual amount of food reserves that we needed at the time. One of the major points of making a comeback from the Great Famine is that we were working together as one community, as one city, and that's what separates us from
Dude, it's an accident every
still
time.
on Earth and still having a huge amount of suffering that doesn't have to happen.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So Annie, I know we've put Gennaro on the hot seat a little bit, so I'm going to turn this towards you now. I mean, it does seem like there's definitely risk involved in these communities, right?
Oh, there is, of course.
So then why put people in harm's way? Like, why do something intentionally risky?
Well, there are risks every day. We live on the moon. I mean, life is fragile everywhere, even for Luna City.
They
it's
kinda
not a
keep
perfect
bringing this
system.
up.
Yeah, but I mean, it's to a higher degree outside the city, don't you think?
Yes, but
Let
Luna
me
City
get the
isn't
other
some
side
sort
of
of perfect utopia. I mean, it's had disease,
Whatever.
infection, electrical malfunctions, complications with engineering, massive rampant crime. I mean, it has a whole host of problems,
This is
all of which
true.
can and have resulted in loss of life. Just because we stay put doesn't mean we're somehow magically safe.
Right. No, I mean, I don't mean to imply that Luna City is like some kind of utopia. I mean, but the thing is, it does have resources. It has solid structures that were built through
Yeah,
trial
well,
and error.
everyone who leaves the city understands the risks involved. It's their choice. It's the consequences of not having the resources of the city are real. People
Yeah.
have died. People
Yeah.
may continue to die, but that is
Yeah.
their choice.
Basically morbid. And
I'm gonna
pretty
put a fucking
careless.
blanket
I mean,
on.
by diverging and just haphazardly going far beyond the bounds of Luna City, like, you would just allow that suffering and death to continue?
Gennaro, nobody escapes death. When our ancestors traveled to new places on Earth, there was suffering and there was loss. Look at the founding fathers of our country. Look at Plymouth Rock.
I'm back.
You know, it's the same thing. My brother, for example, is one of the head engineers.
Is my mic on? Yeah.
Is
it's my
working
mic is
on sealing the latest dome on Mars. It is dangerous
on
work.
Mars.
Dangerous work.
Dangerous
A dangerous
work.
environment. Does that
Dangerous
mean we should
environment.
cop out? He should just
Yes.
leave and stop being human?
Yes.
People are success. That's what you're missing. People
Okay.
are finding success outside of Luna City that can help Luna City. We have communities on the moon doing incredible things. We're pushing the limits of what we thought was possible. We're entrepreneurs, artists, scientists, farmers, brewmasters, gardeners.
Wait, did you say brewmasters?
I know, right?
Really?
One of our communities has been able to grow hops recently.
And hops and beer, that's worth dying for? Or even better, is it worth putting other people's lives on the line?
You know this as well as I do. Brewing could never happen in Luna City. We don't have the freedom. We're not even allowed to own the materials.
Yeah. Okay, well let's stop this part of the debate for now because there's a couple
This
other things.
is
I
like
wanna
a good
cover.
debate, actually.
So
I
I
don't
was
know
very
what side to
fortunate to
choose.
speak with some members of Luna City earlier today, various folks of from different communities of distinction. And in my interviews, I actually hadn't come across brewing. That's very cool. But first, I want to discuss the impact that these communities are having on families. Because, I mean, some children, some young adults, I should say, are so
They're really good
inspired by
actors,
the
too.
spirit of these communities that they're leaving their parents to go off on their own. And I spoke with this one mother whose son is living in a community that's focused on water purification.
Water purification is so important.
Right. So how does that work?
Well, we're fortunate to be living in a time where we can do this, where we have the technology to be making this happen.
I mean, it's terribly dangerous to be doing this.
Yeah, again, it's not without risk, but people know what they're doing and they choose it.
Well, those people who are choosing to do it, most of them are promising young people who maybe have their entire lives ahead of them, but don't necessarily, understand the weight of the choices that they're making. They're descending into lava tubes to find frozen water, and I could take you on a walk through any neighborhood, and you're going to meet really wonderful, amazing people who've lost the significant loves of their lives just for this unnecessary exploration.
It's not unnecessary, and I get your point. It's true that some young
Yeah, I'm
people
on
are
the side
going
of the
away, but
dude,
the
I
work
think.
that the children are doing is revolutionary.
85%.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
baby,
not
only
all of
15
those
more.
young people, not all of those communities are helping others or helpful at all. You know, we all know about the lunar few.
Actually, that was actually the next thing I was going to bring up. So there have been several communities that have developed these sort of, I mean, I have to use the word cult. They're cult-like characteristics. And I spoke with one man, Akar Vex, who
Vex is the worst. He's like absolutely the worst, and he's practically, he's practically a dictator of these people who've chosen to go off into his community.
True.
So, I mean, Gennaro, just full disclosure, you and I have been we're talking before this debate, and you were telling me that this issue is actually personal to you.
Yeah, it is personal to me.
I mean, do you mind are you okay talking about that right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, I'm asleep.
I would love to talk about that.
I just started like fucking curling up and closing
You
my
know,
eyes. and
my daughter left 3 years ago, and she went off to join the Lunar Few, and so that's part of why it's such a sensitive subject for
this
me.
is a good debate.
And Annie,
I'm
maybe
just
you can
tired 'cause
explain
the
to me
flood.
and maybe other parents, and maybe some of the other parents that are in the audience
No, I'm
right
going
now,
to
what
the-
kind of
I'm going to
community of
Iceland.
distinction specifically preys on 18-year-old girls to a religious cult.
Well,
What?
she's
Wait, what?
18, and as other 18-year-olds are, they're
What?
citizens, and they're
What?
free to make their
Sorry.
own choices. It's a personal freedom. It's a right to each and every citizen to do what they would want to do. You have the freedom to do what you want, and others have that same right, and it's important to remember that, even though you may not like it. Your daughter, although you may not agree with her choice, has the freedom to make that choice, Gennaro.
Has she contacted you recently? Has she reached out to you?
I mean, she occasionally has, and she does so when she feels like it.
How long is this podcast?
Have you considered ever visiting her?
No.
Because when I talked to Vex, he did say that he does welcome family members there. I mean, it's not something he's opposed to. It's something he encourages.
Well, I mean, Vex does a lot of things, and my daughter Vicky, she's been trying to get me and my wife to visit her there at their with the Lunar Few, but I feel like visiting is
It's
just
like we
a
happy few,
form
but
of
we in Lunar
lending
Few.
legitimacy to what they're doing, and I don't know, maybe I can visit someday under other circumstances.
Gennaro, we can take you there. My brother is actually a member, and it's not a hard trip. The next time I visit, I can ask about Vicky.
Why don't we just talk afterwards, if that's okay? Okay.
All right, well, I'm actually going to be wrapping up here fairly soon, and we're going to open up for questions.
True.
So anyone in the audience, if you guys have questions for Annie or Gennaro. But for the last part, I want to talk about something that I think exemplifies how the communities of distinction are improving life for Luna City and future generations. So I spoke to this woman named Elena Jameson. She's a member of Constellations, which is a community devoted to engineering advancements through works of art. You guys
This is very cool.
Yes, of course.
And for those of you who don't know, Constellations, they create these these huge works of art on the moon. And their most popular works are these dust logos.
Yeah, this is one example of what can happen when you have creativity and collaboration and engineering coming together beyond what's possible before.
Shut up, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck. No. I just unplugged my headphones. Like in real life. Where's the headphone jack, dude? Where is that shit? Fuck. Oh. Where is it? Is that it? No. Where is it? Holy shit. That's the downside of having so much shit plugged into your computer. Where's my headphone jack? Oh. Hello? Is it back? Oh.
Because it's
I'm
about
back.
a community that came together for what seemed like kind of a random
Yeah.
purpose. I mean, you could be very cynical about corporations hiring
Yeah,
young people to
let's go.
create logos together, but it resulted in something very beautiful, something beneficial, and something not just for people now on the moon, but people in the future. So, and I personally think that's what exploration is about. Somebody from Earth. I mean, that's always been my fantasy of what's so great about it.
86.
So, before we go to questions, Gennaro and Annie, do you guys have any final parting thoughts?
Sure. I think, while I get that yearn for exploration and
Let me just check something. Alright,
independence, our
fuck,
independence
dude.
here on Luna City, our culture, our art, and our way of life, that's become something that's become essential to the way things have progressed, and we've built it on a history of working together and not having these smaller pods of people go off on to adventure and find glory for themselves. Luna City is our home, and it's our
That's
central hub
true.
for a new civilization that doesn't have to make the mistakes that past civilizations have. Without a unified Luna City, I don't think we have much at all.
I disagree. I think that the beauty that you both mentioned, the creativity, its intrinsic need is to be pushed. It's not the
I don't
kind
know.
of thing
I
that
feel like
you
it's a
can
bit
just
reckless,
hold on to forever in a bubble, Gennaro.
I do think creativity is important and like
that's worth anything
exploration.
that withstands the test of time.
But the
if
way
we
she's
don't
saying it,
push,
it just
if we
makes it
don't
feel like
evolve, if we don't keep expanding and growing,
she's
if we
putting
don't
aside
fight
like
for
the risk
those
instead
on
of taking into
Earth and in
consideration.
Luna City
I
listening,
don't know.
we can use your talent. Never stop imagining what's possible because the universe is ours to build what we want.
I don't know.
You have that personal freedom. Use it. We need it. We need you.
Is it? What? Is that it?
Gennaro was played by
Oh.
Jose Gonzalez. Annie was
Oh,
played
yeah.
by Camille Hartmetz. We did take
I've heard
questions
it's
from the
not just
audience.
that.
We weren't sure how that was going to go, but they totally played along and pretended that they were asking us questions on the moon as well. I posted the full audio to my website and the Imaginary Worlds page on
Cool.
SoundCloud.
Yeah, this is really cool.
And by the way, Kim Stanley Robinson, who I interviewed on this podcast last year about his novel New York 2140, also
What's
took
this?
part in this event. He was supposedly a hologram of Kim Stanley Robinson, who gave a lecture about his novel Red Moon, which is going to come out in the fall of 2018. I'll also include a link
Aw.
to that on my website.
Is that Uni?
Anyway, that's it for this week.
No.
Thank you for listening. Special thanks to Robert Smith, Don Davis, staff at ASU. And by the way, if you'd like to learn more about Gerard O'Neill, The podcast
cool.
99% Invisible did a great episode about his career called Home on LaGrange.
Washington, D.C.
Imaginary
New York.
Worlds is part of the Panoply Network.
New York.
Stephanie Billman is my assistant producer. If you like the show, please leave a review in iTunes. Helps people find it. You can like the show on Facebook. I tweeted E. Malinsky and Imagine Worlds Pod. And as always, you can help support this podcast by donating through Patreon
Dude, I like cats.
or GoFundMe. I have links to my Patreon and GoFundMe pages on my site, imaginaryworldspodcast.org.
New York. New York. The cat's name is New York. Nope. Fuck. Is
Hey
that
everyone,
the
before I begin this week's episode, I have some
No.
exciting news. We're going to start...
Fasten your seatbelt, please.
Fasten your seatbelt, please. Alright, I guess I'll just do this one too. Whoa, man. Chill. What's this? What is this? This guy? This dude?
Welcome back to Eggplant, the Secret Lives of Games. We're all game developers, and we have candid conversations with other game creators and dive deep into the art, craft, and process of making games. I'm Nick Sutner. I'm here with Andy Nealon.
Hello.
Zach Gage.
Glad to be aboard.
Doug Wilson.
There's no
Hello,
way.
everybody.
And special guest, Hosni Auchi. Hello, Hosni.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to talk all about your new game, Airplane Mode, today.
Oh shit! Wait.
Which you've all been having a
Airplane
good
Mode.
time aboard.
That's this. That's
and
this.
It's, yeah, something really different and special. And we got a bunch of questions for you and a couple from our listeners.
Yes.
For hanging out with us. And I have a little bio for you here. Please correct me if these things are not correct. But you are a graphic designer turned game developer with your company Backronym. You worked on a game called Feed, this really beautiful 3-on-3 fish basketball game kind of thing. And we'll link to it in our show notes. You also worked on Zero Age on iOS, and you've dabbled in VR a bunch as well. And you started Airplane Mode under the working title of Flight Simulator in 2018 as part of the NYU Incubator program. And it was since picked up by AMC Games to be published on Steam and available now. Is that all correct?
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. And yeah, this is a...
Fuck.
Nova Scotia or a 5-something hour flight from JFK to Reykjavik and enjoy the fruits of flying with
I'm
Anne.
going
But if
Reykjavik.
you don't mind sort of describing the game for us in
He's
your
gonna
words,
lean,
Hosni,
dude.
I'd love to hear it from you.
Well, it actually started very differently. It wasn't, the idea wasn't to be necessarily just, a simulator. It was more, for the longest time, I kind of had like this problem with flying.
87.
It wasn't like it was a fear, but sort of the one where I still fly, but like I just dread the time being on in the air. And so a week before flying, I'm always like thinking, what is it I'm supposed to do on this plane right now to distract myself from the fact that I'm, suspended in midair. So that's kind of
true.
this idea of just kind of sitting in a plane.
That's actually like
and
the whole
not doing
thing.
anything,
Yeah.
just waiting for something to happen, especially in the context of a video game. That's kind of where it started. This idea of will it build dread, will it not build dread, and this it sort of took off from there. This kind of more going into aviation culture and that kind of stuff.
So was that not...
That's like true.
Sounds like it was maybe like a kind of a therapeutic thing potentially to acclimatize yourself with it, or more just to sort of see if you could recreate that experience?
It was more that I have all
Fresh.
this, because the ways I used to try to comfort myself before a flight was I just like read up on aviation a lot, and so I have all this useless knowledge in my head, or like this little idiosyncrasies of flight, and
Dude,
it
what is
became
he
like
watching?
An outlet for all this stuff.
What the
I wouldn't
fuck?
say it was therapeutic as much, because I think if I was still in like I've gotten over it since then, but like if I was still super anxious about flying,
88
I don't think
too,
I
that's
would be able
crazy.
to sit through the game and just work on it and like have to have to deal with this thing day in, day out. So I think I passed the point where I feel I used it for therapy, but it was definitely an outlet for all of the stuff.
I feel like I'm very close to beating the game.
Sometimes when I'm working on a piece, like a piece of art, sometimes the inspiration
It's not
for
gonna
it
take an
comes
hour,
from
which
having
is
an
how long this
experience
is, but
that just feels important or meaningful, and then
I just want to
trying
check out a lot of the stuff they're
take that
talking about in like the
experience and
podcast themselves,
translate
though.
what was meaningful about it to other people. Is that, did you feel like that happened with airplane mode? I think like something that I was struck by when I started playing it was how singular the experience is. Like as soon as you get into it and start it, you're like, oh yes, this is airplane mode. I'm in airplane mode.
That's
This
true.
is the thing. And like I don't think that's true of a lot of experiences, and I think it's really deft of you to sort of like make that realization and then be able to
Am I
point it out and recreate it.
Right.
I
yeah,
swear to
think
God, it's closer.
Part of that does come into play.
Dude,
What I find like kind of
I'm
weird, because they say,
fucking crazy. What is going on?
you know, the idea of flying is boring, right? This in
Yes.
itself is kind of absurd, because on the one hand, you're, like I was saying, you're suspended. Like there's jet engine fuel burning right outside next to you. The sub-zero temperatures, and air pressure and all this stuff, and you're just kind of like nodding off in the chair, sipping wine, watching something. And that idea that you're bored in this kind of context is pretty crazy. Not to mention that like flight has been like this. It's been the dream, right? That's been the thing for centuries. People want to fly, and now that we're flying, and we're just kind of it's so mundane and boring. And why would anyone care about this?
For people listening too, I mean, this is the experience of the game. So you are sitting on a flight from a first-person perspective. Things look relatively photoreal around you,
Relatively.
and you can do everything you would expect, right? You can enjoy the in-flight
Except for watch
entertainment. You can
Pokemon.
mess with the armrests.
That's
you
what I
can
do. I watch
go to the
fucking
restroom.
Pokemon
you can be
anime.
served a meal. You can put on headphones. You can do a crossword puzzle. Like it's sort of the suite of like mundane activities, which is interesting. Like you're saying, it's it's doing these things in the context of like hurling through the air in this metal cylinder that we all like immediately take for granted. It also brought forth a bunch of really interesting like feelings and weird sense memories for me. Like when I was in the airplane bathroom, like I almost smelled it, because I think airplane bathrooms tend to smell a specific way, not a bad way even, just like a very specific
airplane
scent
bathroom,
that I think is
I
nowhere
think.
else in life, and like
I don't think that's
the way that
something
the
I've ever
faucets
noticed.
look,
Oh, I didn't know.
you are really spot on. There was at one point there was sort of a high-pitched whining sound for a little while, and I wasn't sure if that was like the air pressure or a bug or something, but I found myself actually like covering my nose and blowing my ears a little bit to like clear the pressure, like in real life, and it was really weird. And it also, I'll say, like it did feel very nostalgic and bittersweet for me right now, and got me like a little emotional at some point of like just feeling so instantly absorbed in this experience that I've done so many times and taken for granted for so many times, and I thought it was really powerful.
I'd like to add to the thing that you said, because Nick set us up, or set at least me up for like high expectations of like going to the restroom. It's like, oh, don't forget to go to the restroom.
Oh,
and
God.
so I go to the restroom. I'm like, what did he mean?
Well, it's like the other place you can go.
And just like, no, you just went to the restroom. And I was like, oh, this is so gorgeous. It's like, it's so nice that you just, of course I'm messing with everything in there, right? Because I'm like expecting something weird to happen.
Yeah, those tissue physics, come on.
I mean, I was
Oh,
trying
shit, you're
very
right.
hard to get the
I was
tissue
doing that.
into the garbage bin, and that was actually extremely hard to do.
Well, talking about you were expecting something weird to happen, Hosni, maybe you can't even answer this, but are there like shocking or wacky random events that can happen? Because I was under the impression that this probably can't happen. Like, but did you ever consider putting in like extremely rare events like flying through Aurora Borealis or sitting next to a celebrity, or
I'm sitting next to a celebrity right now. It's this dude.
or is that not really in the spirit of the game so much?
No, that's definitely there. There's stuff that's in the game that I won't talk about yet, and there's stuff that's coming in that I won't talk about yet, and no one will know when it got in.
Great.
The good
Dude.
thing of having this statistics being kind of real to real life is that you can go like
I wonder
for
if
a
there's
few
like a
months without putting something in and still have plausible
percent chance of a plane crash or whatever, like 0.0001%.
I was really okay. I gotta keep playing that. Well, so on the flip side of that question, airplane mode reminded me a lot of Gone Home, which is like maybe a weird thing to say, but in that I knew rationally that nothing bad was going to happen to me in airplane mode, like in Gone Home, but I couldn't shake this feeling like I was playing a horror game. that some disaster was going to happen. I've seen
That's
just
actually
too
true.
many movies about plane crashes that I think my
Final
brain was like,
Destination,
irrationally
new movie
expecting
coming out.
that the whole time. You know, the same thing with Gone Home. I knew it wasn't actually a horror game, but I was like so scared the whole time playing it. And I guess I just feel like airplane mode, whether it wants to be or not, is in dialogue with the whole history of media. Am I just a weirdo, or did other testers kind of report that kind of response, that like unease or like worry that the plane was going to crash?
No, that was actually sort of indirectly part of the design, right?
Oh, shit.
Because this idea in any film or game, if you're in a plane for too long, that plane.
I didn't even think about it earlier. I was running 9/11.
Yeah.
We were in a plane. I didn't even think about
If
it.
you're in a plane scene, if the plane scene in a movie is a bit too long, and it's not going to end well, likely, right? And the same with
I just
games.
thought
I was trying to
gonna-
think when we started. I was trying to think of games that
I didn't even
depict,
remember I was on the
planes,
plane.
and there were very few, and most of them ended badly.
Yeah.
So that just, I think, I don't know if it's connected to playing a game, and then you're playing a game and there's expectations there, and even though you like reasonably know
Oh,
that nothing's gonna
90%.
happen,
Yes, only 10% left.
it's like something should happen or might happen, and I think that's part of what I kind of wanted that feeling, because that's how like I feel when you fly, right? Most likely nothing's gonna happen, something might, and so there's this thing you can't shake in the back of your head, and if you did feel that, that's great, but that's not something one can put in and hope that everyone experiences.
Yeah.
There were so many small moments like this. Like I was doing the Sudoku puzzle, and I didn't notice there was turbulence, but then I did, because whenever I tried to draw a number, it's like jittering my hand all
That's
over
true.
the place. And I'm like,
Didn't have to know.
oh no. And then I was like, oh yeah, the noise canceling on these. Oh wait, I'm not actually wearing headphones, right? But the noise canceling
I was
on the
talking
virtual
about
headphones
that.
is very good. Like I didn't hear the turbulence. There are so many of these like really fun diegetic weirdo moments. And I don't even know how to segue this into a question right now. I just like all of that feeling and experience in it. Like to me, this felt a lot like flying in a time when I had a lot of work on my plate, and flying was a like a place to go to have
Wait, what is
a
this?
moment of rest, relaxation, and rest.
A
So I
large
didn't
hill.
have, unlike some of the other stories here, I didn't have that constant unease. I was just like, I was immediately pulled into it in a way where I was like, what am I going to do here?
I just thought
There's
about
not
it.
that much to do yet, but it turns out it's just the right amount to do. So I did the Sudoku puzzle. I don't
Oh,
like
okay.
Sudoku, right? I did the
I
Sudoku
like Sudoku.
puzzle. I solved it. I even went on a second flight to finish it. And then I realized that there's a podcast in there about experimental music that I immediately recognized the voice of Noah Sasso, right? So I was like, oh wait, I have to listen to this.
But
I'm gonna
now
go
you're
on
in the
another
podcast.
flight to Reykjavik and start all this stuff again, right? So I feel like to me it was like
Fuck, hold on.
almost meditative, right? And I wonder if the meditation aspect of that
Let me pause
came
this.
to the
I'll be right back. Back.
Yeah, that came on pretty early.
I mean, the funny thing is, I thought you were doing something else too until I played it. I was like, oh yeah, I was way more expecting this, like, oh, there's gonna be some weird events. What could you possibly do?
It's
and then I
airplane
just
mode.
chilled out. Like I was
I'm not
like,
chilled,
I had a
dude, I'm
bad
fucking
morning
crazy.
before that, and then I played the game, and afterward
That
I
was
was like,
91, yeah.
wow, I'm super laid back and relaxed all of a sudden, just from being in a virtual flight.
I also really tried to like I try to play all games sort of in character and like do what the game is encouraging my character to do, and
That's
I feel
true,
like
it's a
here
good
it was
idea.
just, I was the character, it was just me on a flight, so I was just trying to do what I do on a flight. And I was like having a text chat with a friend before I played the game, and I was like, sorry, I gotta like play this game and pay attention and like set that down. And I didn't want external distractions, and I really wanted to focus 100% in the world of the game, and I think I was really enjoying doing that. And I know Doug, like a monster, was like, oh, I might do a second flight and put this on like a second screen. I was like, no, that's, you know, you can't, you gotta do
Yeah,
this
so
legit.
I wanted to ask about that. So I noticed that there's, just to dovetail with that question, I noticed that there's no save functionality, there's no pause game, and I wasn't even able to get the game into windowed mode. I was kind of wondering, I suspect that some of that's on purpose. Like, so I played the first time, and then the second time I was like, I want to compare and contrast my first attentive experience with, I'll cheese it by setting up a second laptop next to me as I work on kind of my main computer, which it felt like I was just kind of cheating myself or cheating the experience. But what's your take on that in terms of like how much the player should kind of go all in on it?
Let me also add a listener question there from our listener John Axon, who said, is it cheating to play the game in sessions, or is the true way to play it doing it in one sitting like a real flight? So just to add on to that, like,
Why
do you
would
think,
you do
like
it in
Doug was saying,
multiple
do you think of
sessions?
there being like a way you're sort of supposed to play it?
I mean, the line that I would say from very beginning is like the only challenge this game poses is to actually manage your boredom and just hang in there, because that's flying. Like, just this longevity, the stretch of waiting out a flight is part and parcel of the experience. So this idea of saving it and doing it in batches just kind of I felt unbalanced everything. It just changes the whole thing. So it have to be one sitting, because that's the way a flight is, and you're kind of trapped in. You can't like put it in a different window. You can do something else. Like I can't stop you from picking up a phone or a book, actual book, and reading it. But I can force your computer to just kind of be in that state.
Yeah.
I was on the playtesting thing. How do you playtest a game that is a straightforward 2.5-hour experience or more? Is it like, are you sitting with people? Are you sending them home with it and they're thinking about it? And then also, what were you looking for in this playtest? Were there changes that you made after watching people play?
The game went through different phases of playtesting because it went through the incubator, so there was a lot of playtesting at different stages. First, when it was just like a student project at NYU, and then when it was in the incubator, and then afterwards when we were working with the AMC. The earlier phases was just seeing how people handle it. No one sat through a full flight for, I think, the first few years of development. But it's just seeing like just how they react and what
I
they
love
expect
listening to
from
like
it. And
dev
what
interviews
we
and shit.
realized early on in playtesting is
It just lets me appreciate the game more.
if every time we play test, our wish list of things to include gets longer, because everyone like projects their expectations of what they want on the flight, right? Can I do this? I can never not take off my shoes on the flight, right? Someone will say that. So if I can't take off my shoes, then this is not an accurate flight simulator. And everyone has their own versions of these, and there was like the list was infinite of what we can actually
My shoes are off in real
include.
life.
So at some point we have
Wish
to
you
stop,
could see.
just say, okay,
Please don't
this is where we're gonna put all this other input. We can't really, do much with unless it's super important. But that's generally kind of what we were getting. In terms of sitting through the whole flight, that's a problem even for us. Like it was just really hard because we build in this way of speeding through the flight, but that's not really testing it. That's testing it. So yeah, that was.
Get off your phone, man.
It was not great. It was not the funnest thing in the world.
How many flights have you been on in the game?
Full flight, start to finish, not many at all, actually. I probably shouldn't say how much. I probably shouldn't. It's probably not a good thing.
I think,
dude, I'm so close.
There's a lot of
Look,
achievements in the game.
I'm almost over ground.
I was peeking at the list, and I think some of more of this subjective flight experience comes through there. And one, I mostly wanted to debate with you guys because I bet you will disagree with me. You have an achievement called Common Courtesy, which is for completing a flight without reclining your seat. And I'm someone who is very pro reclining. I also take my shoes off the second I get on the plane. And I think it's crazy not to do these things. Like, I think it's crazy
I've
not
never
to just
taken my shoes off on a
be
plane.
instantly as comfortable as you possibly can on a flight. And if everyone reclines, then it's fine. Then it's not a problem. And I think it's nuts that, like, think there's like this like Twitter rhetoric of people like, no, that's like the rudest thing, which it sounds like maybe you agree with since you called it common courtesy. But
Yeah,
unless you just wanted to argue about this.
Yeah, you can't recline. It's not a thing. They should disable it.
If everyone reclines, then isn't it more comfortable for everybody?
No, Nick, it's not, because some of us
at the end.
sleep with our heads on the table, and if someone reclines, that
What?
makes it way harder. Let
Who
alone like
sleeps
trying to
with
use
their
a
heads on the?
laptop
That doesn't
a
make any
table or
sense.
something. Yeah, I'm
What?
very anti-reclining. In
No,
fact,
what?
hearing
What
you
makes
say
sense?
that, I'm now gonna make an
Sleep
extra
with your
effort
head on
to
the
turn on
table?
my phone during a movie, just as like a karmic payback to you after hearing that
Only
you reclined your head.
$2.99 remaining.
Oh no, Nick, I'm with you, man.
Oh yes, Zach, please join us. It's much more sane on this side.
I mean, I do it after the service.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
Like,
So, or I don't know. There's a point in the flight where I feel like that's when it's totally okay.
I
It's
like to kick the
fucking-
seat in front of me.
Because I'm 10.
I like how though you just outed yourself as a phone movie user, Doug. I mean, I feel like that was a big self-own, frankly.
If someone ever complains at me now, I'm just gonna say sorry. Nick leans his seat back on.
Yeah, but the
on a
movie
flight.
theater doesn't come with like a thing encouraging you to turn your phone on.
I once went to a
$2.90.
movie and someone placed an outgoing call. The
Was
first
it
thing they said
$2.89?
was,
Doug?
"No, it's
Boom.
fine. I'm at a movie."
This is what I always do
That's
on
me.
flights. I always
That's
just
me.
like
Every
look
time
at like
someone
the
leans
time
their seat
remaining.
back, I'm gonna
Just count it
take it
down,
out of the
dude.
movie. No.
Yeah. You also, well, I guess, okay, so we all know where we stand. You had
I
another
rolled out my flight to,
achievement, the no-fly
London,
list, which is for completing a
think.
flight after a 1-year break from flying.
That's what I'm doing right
which
now.
I think is cool, and I'm curious how
I
you
did this in
see
2023,
this
and now
game like
back.
fitting into people's lives, because I think that's
It's
sort
just
of
like
a
same with
statement
Variable.
alone on,
I'm
like,
still working on
you
that
know,
one.
maybe put it down for a while and then come back later, and maybe I don't know, maybe there'll be changes, maybe not, but curious to hear from you on that.
Yeah, it's
He,
a
like,
funny thing because when I think
cracks
about
his
like
fucking
coming
chest
back
like
to
a
it
polygon.
more and more often, I wonder maybe we should have more destinations. Then I
That's
say to
true.
myself, I don't know what that actually changes about.
It doesn't.
The whole point of this game is the destination is
funny.
really not the issue. It's the
the
time
journey.
between these
Yes.
points, and they can be anything.
It's the point of life.
You're right. So I
have a couple
actually
closing
don't know
words
how to
to
answer
say
that question. I'm not
when
really
it's, like,
sure.
time to
I'm still not
land.
really sure what people get from it. I have what like I hope people get from it, right? But I'm not. I don't know if. Well, for example, if someone like Andy was saying gets the Zen feeling, that's going to be a very different than someone where it's actually like a horror game. The replayability, if you want, is
272.
it varies like dramatically in that case. So I honestly don't know, but I know that it's really not about the places.
I see what happens, just because like that's the first thing you want to, it's like starting a racing game and driving the wrong way around the track. Like,
It's like you could do that in
kinda
real
wanna,
life.
like, and like nothing really happened to me. But
I want to be
immediately
realistic in this
felt
game
some
for some
anxiety
reason.
about it, so I was like, damn,
And then
I
my
don't know what
page like fucking
So
glitched.
I don't
and
know
lost all
that sort of a
sanity.
thing. But have you seen unexpected behavior in players come out and win, or heard about it when you're showing it?
Yeah, I remember this one person tried to play it like an action game. It was like all really quickly. Everything has to be kept, and then he did all the interaction, and he's like, "Okay, I'm done. What now?" And I didn't know how to answer that question. But also, there was. Remember once, I think this was at a show or something, but someone just put it on and just like started texting his friend, and just kind of went on with his life. And I'm like, yeah, I like that. I get it. I can dig this. Yeah, that was one that stood out. Recently, haven't been able to see as much people testing. What I like to see is waiting for that moment where they're thinking, "Wait, nothing's gonna happen, right? That this is it." That's that moment.
For me, I looked at the store
you can often
page.
see it on the face, and it's
I
great.
bought
It's really
it
great.
knowing that nothing was gonna happen.
I was
I was
really
pleasantly surprised
and
by the fact that I could do the
don't
crossword.
I don't love flying. I fly. It's fine. It's kind of boring. I feel like I probably have a pretty standard
93
relationship
7
with
months.
flying. But I was really surprised. I sat down to play it, and I thought, well, I'm really excited about this game, and I'll play it this one time.
It's right there,
And then
dude.
as soon as I finished it, I thought, that's not really how I fly. Like, how I fly is I get on an airplane and I go to sleep and I wake up and I'm there.
Yeah.
And now I like desperately want to play it again, like at like 11:30 p.m. and just put it on and then go to sleep and like put the volume up high and just sort of see what happens and like when I wake up and like do I wake up for meal
Fun.
service?
I like
and,
hearing
what's
about
that
the game while
experience?
playing
Like
it,
it was,
especially when it's in the game at the beginning.
I was really surprised.
That's
And
really
I
funny.
wonder if anyone else is trying to do it. Like it struck me as such a bizarre thing that like when you play this game
2014.
matters, and like the mental state that you're in, and like how you feel going into it, and what time it is, and what you're doing, and what's going on in your life. All of those things are so important to the experience of playing this game, and I don't think I've ever felt that way with a video game. Like
That's true.
obviously, you know, if I'm gonna sit down and play Apex Legends, if I'm
Ooh.
really awake, that's better
No
than if
thanks.
I'm really tired. But like that's
Don't play
not
Apex.
really like a fundamental shift in what the game is like. But for this game,
Mm.
it's so different going into that with those different mindsets.
Yeah, I had a weird experience with that where I like took a sleeping pill in the beginning of the game and I kind of forgot about it, and then I was like watching the Bugs Bunny cartoon, and
Yeah.
I just felt, I can't even describe it, but a weird thing where like, you know, you kind of start like the game starts vignetting and it starts like fading away into black or whatever very subtly, and I was playing the game kind of late at night, and I sort of had a moment where I like snapped out of it almost as if I started
Dude,
falling
you're not in the
asleep in
game,
real
chill out.
life, and then kind of realized what was happening in the game, and it was really surreal. And then I went to sleep in the game, and then I woke up and I missed my meal service, and I was sad.
94.
Like on a real flight.
You even told me this, and then it happened to me as well, and I missed the wine service, and I was really bent out of shape. Now, mind you, it's 10 a.m. in the morning for me, and I'm missing a virtual wine service.
I
It's
didn't
a
even
bad
get
sign,
that.
I'd say, but it was fascinating. So, Hosni, there's a really interesting thing going on here, right? Where like I feel like all of us are describing to you our like quote unquote mundane, minute, moment to moment experiences, right? And it's like normally, right? Like we try to case these things into questions, right? Where it's like, well, how did you come up with this? But like in this experience, I don't feel like that's actually very fitting, right? To be like, well, how did you think about the experience that would happen? There's like,
Just
it's just the
everyone's shared
sequencing of
experience.
these small things that
Yeah.
seem so mundane, and yet they're so distant to us right now. So our listener Ick says, I looked up a timeline for airplane mode and saw that work began in 2017. The game seems like such a good fit for 2020 since it's much more difficult to get the real experience of the simulation. Was the steep drop-off in operated flights and passenger travel extra motivation to publish?
It just came out of nowhere. I mean, I couldn't. There's no way at that point. But it was strange because at some
And below
point
10,000 altitude.
we were like, while we were like fleshing out this airplane, and at some point we're like, okay, you know, are we putting the newer seats or the really old seats? Are we going super like really back in terms of nostalgia? Are we doing like? And then I kind of settled at this mid 2000s sort of late 2000s sort of time. Like, okay, this is like the every flight, right? Not something too like, you know, modern, not something too old. You know, like the crappy touch screen. You know, the flight, and so that was kind of we were kind of going for recent nostalgia, knowing that it's probably not going to land, but it landed in unexpected ways because, you know, it just became a nostalgic game all of a sudden, and that was just not what we had anticipated, obviously.
But even this, they're so small that they're deep. So here's a detail. I wonder if anyone of you noticed this, which is it's a crazy detail to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
The little frost circle around the dot on the
what
window.
is this thing?
I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like when I saw that, I was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I don't think I
There's a
ever
story
took a
behind the
flight where that
frost.
happened.
Because
so.
like when I was a kid, I saw this thing, right? And I'm like, oh my god, the window's shattering, right? And I should tell someone.
That's
It's my
what
responsibility.
that's what I felt like.
To
Oh my
tell the
fucking
flight
god.
attendant, right? And so
It
I told
was,
my older sister, I'm going to tell the flight attendant. She's like, are you crazy? Like this, she's going to laugh at you, right? I'm like, okay, fine. But this whole time, the whole flight, I was just worried about this thing because it kept getting bigger and bigger. I'm
That's
thinking,
true.
if anything happens with this plane, it's my fault, right? Because I didn't say anything about it. And then like
Amazing.
later, I read up on
That's
it, or
what I
was told about it
fucking
and stuff, and so it became like a big thing in flying for me. So I made sure that it had to be there.
Amazing.
Because
It's absolutely.
I've
amazing.
never seen it though,
Oh my
but
God.
I
Were
wish
there
I
any
had.
other
Now.
personal experiences that you had that directly connected to this, like that? It feels
95.
free to say no. I don't want to like push a perfect.
it's a matter of, okay, so there's like a billion details that we can't actually put in the game. So the ones that got put in are things that stood out to either of us at some point in time in the team. Because they've all had.
It
certain
should have been
experiences
like
with, a certain item. So
inventory
these kind of fed its way into what we include and what we don't include. In addition to obviously requests that are very common. I remember at one point one of the biggest requests that we actually never fulfilled was, and it was a weird one. It was, and I get it, but it was a weird one. It was a creature on the wing. Right? That was like very very frequently requested, and well, I won't say more about that for now. but at some point, for example, there was not going to be a bathroom, and then we realized the bathroom is a necessity. It's that trip to the bathroom is.
That's true. You gotta shimmy through the line.
Essential experience of being on a plane.
I didn't know it was an option until I saw the achievement, and it was like spend at least an hour in the bathroom, and I was like, you can go in the bathroom? Oh my, this is so exciting. And then I spent a while in the bathroom. And
you have to wait for passengers to leave it, right? And if people stay for too long, so often people click and they're not able to go to the bathroom. But
yeah, and you can't be buckled. If you're buckled, your character looks down to the buckle to the belt. It's like, oh, well, I can't get up yet. That's how I discovered it.
I just love so many of the details, and especially the authenticity of like the in-flight magazine and all the small details. And I think it's not trivial to come up with like a whole magazine of convincing logos and companies and present them in a way that feels like totally realistic and cohesive and isn't distracting. And I think a lot of games might take that as an opportunity to be like very jokey with it, but I think you play it very largely straight, and I'm curious what your direction was for that, and if it was tempting to not do that.
Yeah, that was exactly my question too. The piece of media I thought about immediately when I started playing airplane mode is that Blah Airlines promotional video that Virgin ran as like a marketing campaign, which is like this 5-hour, 45-minute YouTube video documenting this like fictional cross-continental flight, but it's super jokey, and it features lots of like outrageous situations and satire. But
it's
like
airplane
airplane mode plays it pretty straight. But yeah, so I was also curious to that degree, like how humorous do you consider the game to be? Is this a humor game, or is it a game that we can kind of see as like poking fun at flying, but that's not the is humor? Was that the intention from the beginning, or not so much?
Yeah, this is. I would definitely classify it as a comedy game, but we play it deadpan.
Yeah.
That's the way we go about it, like just straight-faced comedy. Or otherwise, I think that works. But in this situation, I don't think the joke would land as well if we weren't like super deadpan about how we approach everything from the in-flight video to the magazine, everything there. Like hints of humor, but clearly. Well, I guess I thought this was like clearly supposed to be funny. I'm not sure if everyone picks up on that because that's that's
I think the funniest part is like the games you cook. And
Maybe
it's
because we know him.
Blackjack and Solitaire and then coming soon trivia.
Talking about delays, I thought that was really good in terms of the deadpan humor, like poking fun at that everyday experience. Just the way that he kind of like talks about it's just like, oh god, I've heard this announcement. This is like such a send up of these awful delay announcements. Yeah, I thought that was really effective.
Even just the fact that the very first thing that happens in the game is you sit down on the plane and you're like, all right, I'm going for a ride, and then it's like, all right, we're 5th in line to take off, and you're like, oh my god, I have to wait to take off.
That's what I did.
It's like such a
this is a good
opening.
game.
Was that something that you were always considering, or was that just like magically showed up and you were like, this is perfect, I'm gonna go?
That was actually Bennett came into play here because when he was playing a very early version of it, he's like, you're missing an opportunity for an early climax, and he's absolutely right. It's this just built up time for the takeoff, and that's really true because like it definitely feels like a phase of the flight where you're waiting for takeoff, and then there's like pre-takeoff and post-takeoff. And then post takeoff has a bunch of stuff, but there's that time before, and then now we're airborne, and so yeah, that had to like
it's a good
be
game.
The game. So that's what we did, and we kind of stretched it out to obviously the whole safety video needs to run, and there are like
as long as it
planes in
can
front of
be
you,
being
and
funny
waiting, it's JFK,
without being
no
like
one gets out of
obviously
JFK. Like
funny.
This is actually pretty. Our time in JFK is pretty good compared to the real times we were there.
Oh yeah.
So
I was so glad it was in there because I sleep on flights, I always stay up until I'm in the air and then go to sleep, and that is my experience of the flight.
It's true.
So compelling. I also was just struck by like there are so many little interactions in the game, and like we live in a time where like you can open up a video game and like be Spider-Man, and yet I'm sitting playing
When you be Spider-Man on a plane, though.
Oh, but like I'm sitting playing like airplane mode, and I'm like, oh, you can make the window go up and down. Wow, I didn't
Yes, dude,
expect
I've been
that.
doing that
Or
for
like,
fucking
oh,
just
I can
fidgeting.
take the pen out of my bag. Oh, of course, that's what I need to do. Like, it's so funny to like have all these extremely like high resolution things, and then be struck by the realism of like these tiny little actions that like, of course,
True.
you could make it like. You can go to the bathroom? Oh my god. But like, yeah, of course you could make a video game where you can go to the bathroom on an airplane. Like, even I was like, I looked over and saw that there were other people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't really expect there to be other people on this plane. Like, wow, they like figured that out. Were there any games that you looked at for this sort of like immersive, like ultra immersive small experience?
Right there.
Like, I feel like,
So
you know,
close.
Spider-Man, you can't like walk around and open all the windows in your apartment, right? That weirdly, that's not something that we're
That's so interesting, actually. That's such a good point.
Like there's always that game where you can't do anything, but then you can always hit the sink. There's always, or you can always hit the story. There's always that one thing you can hit, right? And
It's
that's
like
just,
fucking heavy rain where you can just piss.
Those are
everywhere.
actually pretty satisfying in and of themselves. Even that one sink thing, and so the opportunity to have those all over the place was great. And the problem like when we're doing this game, we talk about. So okay, I'm you know, we're trying to get it on a schedule, right? And I'm like, okay, I always have to consider what I'm working on or what Ben or Lawrence is working on. Is that a priority? Then you think it sounds like a detail, but there's all a collection of these little details. So yeah, I can't. We just be able to Wi-Fi on the phone, or we need to be able to spread the butter on the. It's just a collection of these small details, and each one of them seem kind of not important or easy to like to put, but the collection is, I guess. I don't know, they seem kind of fun to do, and I guess this also came from things like Gone Home, when I wasn't expecting to enjoy just, you know, picking up things and reading about them, checking them out, but it was fun.
I do want to, of the details, there is one that I wanted to flag, which is, I'm not really a germaphobe, but the fact that when you get the pretzels, you throw them out and like spread them out on the tray is disgusting.
That is true.
Yeah, now I'm really bummed out that I slept through the meal.
Noted.
Are there little details that you're like especially proud of that people like largely aren't noticing? Because I know things like the scenery you see outside. My understanding is that's relatively like accurate to what you would see outside. Like things like that maybe that most players wouldn't see, but that you're proud of, that you kind of nailed the specifics of.
Like for example, there's stuff like the sleeping pill, it is affected by how much calories you've consumed. So if you have it after a meal, it'll take longer to stuff like that.
Damn, that's
It'll take
crazy.
longer.
97.
And if you've consumed alcohol at the same time, it'll affect the way you sleep. And and if you're actually active in the flight more, if you move around more, you're burning more calories. So there's all of these little things that we did that no one's gonna see, no one's gonna know about, but we had like fun doing. I don't know how many people have tampered with the smoke alarm. I don't know if that's a common thing.
I was in the restroom just like hitting the alarm, the like
call button
button a lot, and nothing happened. I was like, they already know I'm an idiot. Right? It's like they're like, there's just some person on the toilet. You can't be. Yeah, so I was like, okay, fine, that checks out. The thing I did that only had, and it was like, I don't know what achievement Zach got. I just saw when I saw Zach's Steam account, it said like hidden achievement, play the game more to get it. So I don't know what his was, but mine had 6.4% of the players achieving it, and it's the animal achievement for desecrating a book. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm the only person who like took the pen to the book and started scribbling stuff all over the place. Actually. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. Hasni put this achievement in there. This is not just me, right? So it's like, I was like 6.4%. That's weird, right? Because like I was like, is this because I'm a game designer and I like scribble everywhere? Because I wanted to know what would happen.
I was expecting 100%, honestly. Everyone scribbles on the book. I haven't seen any, and they usually scribble like, you know, things on the book.
Yeah, the pen is fun. The pen.
Maybe you don't get the achievements after you
finish the game. A lot of love
in
making that pen like a nice interaction, and I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna start circling stuff in the book and drawing all over the place. But yeah, it blew my mind that that was a rare achievement.
speaking of the book, we had a listener question. Bro Quaint asked, which book
One eye.
did you choose to include and why? One of the few
Against the
highlights
grain.
of air travel is choosing a good book to read. So yeah, there is that one kind of pink covered book. Can you tell us more about it and why you chose that one?
Well, it was a combination of finding something in the public domain that suited the game's kind of vibe, and so we went with Against the Grain.
So close.
Heinzman, I think, and this was actually not. This was like recommended to me as a thing. So I read up on the book. I actually haven't read the book myself. Someday I'm going to launch the game and read it. Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but was the question why I chose a specific book?
Yeah, why'd you choose that one?
It had like sort of a surreal aspect to like. I mean, like I said, I haven't read the book, but when it was being described to me, I'm like, yeah, this just seems like a good fit. There was just this nothingness about
I'm actually read the book.
what was being described that I thought would work. I might read the book and decide that I was absolutely wrong, and I judged the book literally by its cover. But that was where the choice came
that's
from.
like the phrase.
Finding something in the public domain that felt like it fit the mood of the game, and so like it wasn't going to be I don't know, Moby Dick.
Okay, under 100 kilometers remaining.
Earlier, Zach mentioned like the other like passengers sitting next to you, and on the first flight I took, the guy was just like staring at the like default screen in front of him the whole time, like a sociopath, which is like a thing that people totally do. Like this, the three things I do when I get on a plane is I take my shoes off. When I can't, I recline. Screw you, Doug. And also, I turn off. Like if there's no one sitting next to me, I'll turn off that screen. And usually turn my own screen off unless I'm specifically watching something. But people who just leave the screen in front of you ambiently on while they're like reading a book, that's sociopathic of me. And then the second flight I took, the guy was like watching cartoons, and I was like, all right, good, I'm not sitting next to
Oh, that's what this guy is.
this time. So I was also curious about some of the other like ambient passenger behavior that we may not be appreciating.
They're basically AI agents, right? They order their own drink, they open the thing, and if at some point there were things that if you remove their drink from their hand, like we hadn't like removed the platters, you could remove the drink from hand, everything just breaks down. Everyone's AI just shuts down. No one knows what to do anymore because it's all based on them like receiving stuff. But it's they don't do much. They just hang around there. I actually what I like about passengers in planes is like I always try to look at what they're watching and wondering why they're watching it or what they're doing. But like not in a creepy way. Well, I mean, I can't decide if it was creepy or not. They would have to. But I kind of like to do that in the game as well, to see what like they chose, even though I know there's 4 things to choose from. But one thing that I disagree with you on is I totally leave the screen on next to me because
I thought it was 98.
One is for the movie I'm watching and one is for the flight information. I want to have like a panel of what I need. So if there's no one sitting here, I turn on the flight information, and I wanted to include that in the game, but it felt unnecessary, including of all the video content accessible from 2 screens was a bit much.
I think the passenger in front of me, and I may be misremembering this, but like a thing that I always find awkward. So Hosni, I do this too. I see what other people are watching because I'm like, oh, I wonder what that. And then I try to guess which movie it is. Like it's super weird, right? It's just like I'm bored to tears, and I'm just gonna do this while I'm listening to music. So I fully get it. But the passenger in front of me had a movie running, but paused it. Like it was stuck on one screen, and that happens.
Oh, 98,
so again,
okay.
I don't know if this is deliberate or if the AI is freaking out, but this happens to me on planes when people are like put a film on pause and then they leave it on pause for the entirety of the flight. Right? I'm just like, what? Why?
80
Why would
kilometers
you do this?
left.
I've seen people do it when they sleep. I guess that's.
Yeah, and then it doesn't turn off,
nice.
and it's just like frozen on like one person, like with a mouth open or something, right?
It's so true. No, I was gonna say I
blur
also
it.
like to watch what they're watching, and then if there's a movie that I want to watch, I need to make sure that they're done because I don't want to see like the end while I'm watching the beginning. It's like it's.
I think the experience I miss most of flying is without the sound, watching a movie of someone else in the row in front of you.
It's right there.
I don't know why that is, but that's way better than actually
We're
watching
right
the
there,
movie
dude.
itself.
Yeah, I've never seen a Fast and
Come
Furious
on.
movie, but I've probably seen like
Tragic.
I know, and I watch a lot of films, but
Yeah, you gotta get on.
I've probably seen a total of 3.5 hours of Fast and the Furious
exactly.
across many movies and stuff that like.
Not without the audio, not Fast and the Furious. You got to do this right, Nick.
I too have also never seen a Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh my God, I need that new podcast, mates.
we'll have a marathon one day, Andy. But yeah, or movies that I love and that that I could watch on my nice TV at home, but I still find myself watching like most of the movie with no sound, like 4 feet in front of me.
Why
to the
not
right.
just watch the movie? I guess a lot of people don't.
I kept having this experience in
a
the
lot of
game that
flights
was
don't
really
have that
surprising to me,
for
and
free.
I'm not really sure if you
Some
intended
of them
this,
do that,
but it
some
was
not.
perfectly realistic, which is if you right-click, it will take your headphones off.
Yeah,
which
dude.
is confusing if you're like right-clicking on the window or something, but I have had the experience constantly on airplanes of struggling to get my Bluetooth headphones to connect to the correct device, and they're constantly getting disconnected, and I'm always like, what is even happening here? And there are cords, and like that experience of like, first I didn't know I took them off, so then I checked the Bluetooth on the TV, and the TV was maybe connected, but then my phone was connected, and I just wanted to listen to a podcast, and I was like struggling with like where my headphones were and what was going on. I don't know if that was intentional, but it was like incredibly realistic to me, and I just wonder like the interaction design in this game is like actually quite clever, and I was surprised when like, how do you interact with a Sudoku in a Sudoku magazine, right? Like in a video game, you'd think, well, you click on it and you push the number on your keypad, but like, you were like, no, you get the pen from your bag, because it fits the interaction paradigm that you had, which is you have the mouse and you can left click.
But I haven't been bored.
And I just
really
wonder, like, how much thought did you put in with that kind of interaction design? Did you know that the pen was going to be the thing right away? Did you think about the way the headphones were disconnecting? Was this like an area that you spent a lot of time thinking?
Get your hand away from me, dude.
Every time, because the one thing we wanted to do was we wanted to limit it to the mouse, just right click and left click, and we figured we can get everything we want just from that. But
yeah,
things
but you can't
start
fucking
getting
turn
really
this over.
confusing if you're holding stuff, if you want to interact with things while other things are happening, and what kind of interaction is something that you can manipulate versus something that just has like jumping between two states.
Check your seatbelt and ensure it is indeed securely fastened.
Okay.
Flight attendants will be passing around the cabin one final time to make a compliance check and pick up any remaining trash. Thank you. We'll be on the ground shortly.
Okay. So, for the last, like, I don't know, 10 minutes of this, I just want to talk a bit, because after doing Desert Bus Mario for like 9 hours, which was really fun, but also, Desert Bus, and editing it has also been kind of annoying because there's nothing but good to put in. I look at myself in the mirror a lot. I'm just like, why'd you do that? There's just better things to be doing, not only like responsibility wise, but also just like fun wise. And then here I am, like half a year later, or I don't know, doing the same shit. It was during the summer, I don't know, but no, it wasn't. Whatever. And then it's just like I find myself doing these things because they are long and like arduous a little bit. Hello? Wait. What the fuck? Whatever. And then also, I was talking about this specific thing with some friends, and even today I was talking about it. A lot of people just don't play indie games, or just don't even like indie games as much as AAA games, which to me is preposterous. Because I recently joined a Steam family. Now we have like over 500 games. I had like 200 of. Most of mine are just indie games. Oh fuck. Dude. Oh, dude. Anyways, ow. And like they just think since it's indie, I don't even know, honestly, but it just brings me to think about like what is an indie game against a AAA game, not just like definition wise, but because it's an indie game or whatever. How or why is it different than a AAA game content wise? And I guess the solution I sort of came up with was AAA games are made for money primarily, and then art after. I know there's exceptions to that, you know, like fucking FromSoft games, stuff like that. But what is... I don't... Whatever. And then... indie games, because they are not for money, they don't have to follow the norms of the genre or whatever they're trying to do. And therefore, I guess are more unique, more unusual, and more provocative in a way. I don't want to sound like preachy or pretentious or whatever, but that's kind of what I get out of indie games, is the unusual and the emotional. I guess people want different things out of different games. And, you know, games don't have to just be one thing. I watched, like, the H-Bomber guy video on Pathologic. Like, games don't have to be fun to be good. That really struck a chord with me, because I never thought of that before. You're right, because, you know, music or art, or, like, your painting, all kinds of art, never had to be enjoyable to be good. So why should games be the same way? If it makes you feel the way it intended to make you feel, it has succeeded in its purpose. I know it's a bit like, I don't know, it's a little weird with games because of all the glitches and stuff and the technical aspect of it, but in a deeper level, outside of just that, games are art. Same as everything else, like film, music, whatever. It's art. And, you know, what is it? What was I talking about? Like, you can have a cozy game that's meant to be cozy, or an action game that's meant to make you feel awesome, whatever. In this game, I don't know. Games like Desert Bus, games like this, even though they're not really the same, it's kind of zen, like they were talking about. Are we landed? No. But yeah, it's like, why should games have to appeal to the norms of gaming? It's weird. And honestly, the same thing with any other kind of media too. Like modern art. Like, people are saying modern art is bad on, like, fucking TikTok and shit. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. I don't even want to talk about that, though, because that's, like, a complete other topic about, like, the class divide or whatever. I always end up going back to this type of shit, but back to games, like, I don't think a game should be defined by who made it, or like how, the budget or whatever, or even like what kind of game, whatever art style. What the fuck? Did you hear that? What the hell? Dude. Anyways, I swear I heard like a little kid laughing in my ear. In short, Overwatch ruined modern gaming. Valorant is bad for some reason. And, play more indie games, because they're good. And also, Nintendo's been really greedy lately. I didn't think it would come to this, though. I feel bad for the developers that work under Nintendo, because that's like a big opportunity. And it's obviously really cool to work at Nintendo, but in the modern area we live in, where they're like costing more money than they need, obviously, and like, like the thing with the game share, where you can't have multiple digital copies of a game anymore with the update. I don't know. I feel like they're gonna get worse. That also just makes me worried, like, what's gonna be the new Nintendo, if there even could be one? Because Nintendo, among the other first-party companies, were more reliable in the quality of their games and the quality of their consoles and services or whatever. And they were just, like, more unique, I guess, which made them feel more indie. But after everything that's happening with the new Switch 2, like the menu's so boring, like the Switch 1, and like it's just so uniform. It feels like they're just being exactly like every other company, which is not why anyone likes Nintendo. I think indie will have more of a resurgence, even more than they do now, in the coming years. Or I hope, at least. Because without that, I think, I don't know. Why do I get so fucking pretentious sometimes? I don't know. Baba Booey. We're 99% of the way there. Come on. 10 kilometers. Or 6 miles. Which is my name. Will I do another video like this, another stream like this again? Maybe. Probably if I get more viewers and I have like actual chat to talk to. It was still fun though. I might actually make this one into a video, more likely than the Desert Bus video. I feel like I've grown as a commentator a little bit in the past months. And I will do Mario 64 Star Revenge soon. I gotta pass my classes though. I'm failing.
Right. Captain, prepare for landing.
Alright. That's just water. I'm just looking at water right now. This is an experience. I like this game. Are we landing? 4 kilometers. Stop. I wish it didn't scroll automatically. I think that's so realistic though. 3 kilometers? The water is not realistic. Oh, maybe that's my graphic settings. I see land. Yes. Oh my god. It's Brenna Journey, folks. Holy shit. Not as much as before. But I'm more conscious for this one. Oh my god. Minecraft. Done. 0 kilometers left. We've landed. That is -1. Airplane mode. Wow. Feels like I just sat down. No, it doesn't. Is anyone gonna clap? I really hope someone claps. We're still moving. I can turn my airplane mode off now, right?
Comfort, please
Oh
remain
shit.
seated with your seatbelt fastened until
Okay.
the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign.
Okay.
This will indicate that we have parked at the gate and that it is safe for you to get up.
Okay.
Cellular phones may be used now.
Yes, dude. Okay. I'm turning my VPN on. Shit. That's so awesome. Alright. There's really nothing I can do with this anyways. Except for fucking kill this guy. What does he look like again? Dude, there's no fucking way. Why is it like sideways lipstick? I'm crying. I can't. Looks like the Joker. I'm out of here. Please. Oh. Credits. Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keflavik International Airport.
Yes.
Local time here is currently around 8:30.
Is that true? I don't think that's true. It said it was like 6. Brandon marketing, dude.
On behalf of myself and the rest of our hardworking crew, we'd like to thank you for choosing Pan Atlantic on your trip today. We know you have a choice of carriers, and we appreciate you choosing Pan Atlantic today.
Oh, dude.
We'd love
This
to
game
see
is
you
awesome.
on board again soon. In the meantime, have a wonderful stay.
I got 3 things. I got Miss Meal Service, I got Desecrated Book, I got Fly to Reykjavik. And I also got Consume under 1,000 calories on a flight to Reykjavik. Reykjavik? I don't know. So that's 4 achievements right there. I guess I didn't get the one for the carry-on, which is kind of weird, but I don't know. I don't think I'll 100% this game anytime soon. But that's the way it is. I don't really care about that kind of thing. I do like 100% in games, but I don't really care about the percentage of games I have 100% on Steam. I know I'll never get TF2, whatever. So, podcasts, dude, yes. Shout out everything, dude. I don't know. It just feels fun. Secret Lives of Games, the fourth wall break is kind of crazy to... And the cats from the phone app, fire. And special thanks, Hassan. Pinusujan des. Penis. Tim's son. Yes, dude. It's over. For some reason, I found that really fun. Is it? Are we? We're stopped. Are we parked at the gate? I can't imagine being a pilot, dude. Imagine actually having to fly one of those things. Quagmire. Quagmire is a pilot. Alright. Are we for real? We still have to do the compliance checks or whatever. I always have just a bunch of games on my phone to play. I just play a lot of slop. I don't get it. Stop playing one-armed cook, dude. Could play lobster with a monster, man. Are we for real? Is this... Are we really doing this? What is this thing? Is this the joke? Oh, my headphones. Whatever. Are we gonna fucking... ...100% think this could still be, part of the joke. But it could also be a glitch. I'm just gonna take it off. Dude. I swear the flight's over, dude. I'm putting the seatbelt back on. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You're looking at me, dude. Is it... Are we for real? Is this a glitch? I don't want to believe it, dude. Don't look at me. Um... 100%. It's too bright. 0%. What is going on? Are we deadass? Are we deadass? I think this is a glitch. But I'm gonna stay here for another like 10 minutes just to be sure. You know what? Fuck, I can't do this. I gotta go to bed, dude. It's late, dude. I gotta fucking do shit with my day. I can't, dude. But then they're like talking, and I don't know if it's like I can't look behind me. I'm so close to the finish line. I like, if it is, I don't know. It's probably just over, right? No, dude, I'm leaving. I can't do it. Six hours, dude. I did that. I did it. You know, chat, it's been 4 hours. 4 hours of my life. 4 more hours of my life, I should say. After 9 hours to Desert Bus. Let's talk about that. We've got 13 hours off of my life just spending, like, doing some random shit. I didn't get no fly list though, which is kind of weird because I definitely did that. I might have to like send an email out because I don't want to wait another year. Yeah, it says spend over an hour. No, not the right thing. It says no flight list. Complete a flight after a 1-year break from flying. Last time I played this game was November 30th, 2023. Now it is May 10th, 2025. That's over a year. Unless I'm stupid, which I'm not. So either it's just broken. It's just broken. I don't know. The last update of this game was in 2020, so I don't know.